What's up, friends? Good to see you, SR. The Jersey lady, what's going on? Happy Sunday morning. It's cloudy here in southern Ontario. It's nice and warm, though. Pissed off because I got a parking ticket last night. But I'll get over it. Fell asleep on the couch. It's preoccupied. Pissed me off. Cost me $50. $50. I didn't even leave my house. Yeah. Nobody likes parking tickets, though, yo. Oh, very proud of you, OPP, Val. Yeah, it's going to storm there down in Cleveland. Yeah, same here. It must be the same line coming across. Oh, where's Lindy? I see you, Lindy. Good to see you, darling. Yeah, it's pretty chill. I was just going back some of Mike's old videos that I missed. Oh, it's funny. People are funny. Friday we talked about, well, we listened to Janie's call in with Anita. The entire thing. We sat through it. Poor Janie. Oh, it's all right, Stacia. I'm going to call and complain. See if I can't hammer that down a little bit. Usually out there, it's an 18-hour limit here in the city. So I usually do something every 12 hours. I just happened to sleep through it. What the fuck ever. And I think I might have burnt my pressure washer out last night too. So it's pretty expensive the last 12 hours. I'm not sure if I burned it out. It's lacking pressure. I'll go deal with it later. It's nighttime for you, cool fish. I hope you're feeling better. I'm putting all of my problems onto you all this morning. Oh, it's all good. Miss K, what's going on? What was this thing I was focused on? Oh, Janie's statement. Janie's talking to Anita and Mike, and they're talking about the reason why they spent so much time down on the pipeline trail. And according to Janie, she was down there from approximately 1 p.m. to 7 on the four-wheeler. She spent all of her time searching down on that pipeline, and her rationale for it was, well, because they found that bootprint down there. That's why. Isn't that your answer as to how the fucking bootprint got there in the first place? Sweet tea, good to see you this morning. You skipped over the rationale, the logic as to how people came across this particular piece of evidence that you love to discuss. Now, it's funny to me how you guys are searching for kids and you don't know anything about the bootprint that was found. Well, they came and measured it to check to see. Well, yeah. Just one random bootprint in the middle of fucking nowhere. I wouldn't even constitute that as any evidence of anything. But Janie, of course, wants to give it all kinds of credibility long after the fact as her rationale and reasoning at the time as to why she stuck around there so long or what the importance of it was. On the surface, you can see that, well, it's easy because you can pawn it off on somebody else. Everybody's talking about this, so we went down there. Well, The problem is with this statement is that she emphasizes its importance far before it was actually, discovered and reported to police, whatever time that may be. The RCMP will keep the official time. Don't expect them to verify anything with you. So it's going to be one of those things. But obviously, you have the opportunity, Janie, to volunteer all kinds of information and you refuse. Well, because there's really no context to be put alongside it. And that's when Anita suggested that maybe Daniel planted it. And she fucking lost it. Oh my God. I don't know how, it's very complicated how you would explain what she did there. Because we all know that there was nothing funny in the statement. Now, what did Janie find so funny about the statement? Whoa! She just had a fragment of her whole personality there. And forever, she was already elevated emotionally. Anyway, we all know that Janie's withholding all kinds of information. It's just very difficult not to go through the process and talk about all of the examples, after the fact. Hold on one moment, please. Yeah, it's a performance, isn't it? A performance would be a good word for it. She called up to Anita and Mike, wanting to undermine and talk smack about Anita and the things that she's doing. Man, oh man, you never ever actually really got to a point, Janie. But it was all about thank you, Sammy Miami. I appreciate that. But it's all about the shit talking and the just being there to deny. It's not good enough in this situation, sadly, Janie. In this whole gatekeeping thing, we don't have to tell you nothing. Let's hear. Do I got this clip ready? I think I clipped this one. Hold on. Let's see. Sounds like this.
We're at the end of the pipeline on the Madison Road. Uh-huh. She called me and told me to get back here. Right. Because she couldn't tell me over the phone. So we came back from the Madison Road at the end of the pipeline at Madison Road and drove down here and came back in the yard. Now I can tell you exactly what time she called me, if you want me to.
No, how long were you on the pipeline area, all total? What would you say?
I was on the pipeline. First thing after Justin went and got the bike, I would say all from Friday at 1 o'clock till about 7 o'clock Friday night.
And was everybody there? And
we were driving around on the bike.
Okay.
On the pipeline and everything. And then again on Saturday, we took off on the bike again on Saturday.
And why was it so important to search on the pipeline area specifically?
Well, according to everybody, it was important because they found footprints. So that's where everybody thought the kids were. So that's where everybody headed.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what, it just magically appeared there, I guess. $10:21, your brother called back when you knew the kids were missing after the RCMP were called. This 10:27 or thereabouts arrival of the RCMP. These time frames are all significant. Think about all of the, almost need to do a visual on it. But think about all of the important timelines that still have yet to be, well, we talk about them, but there's no context with them. There's a story with them. Of course, these are the things that the RCMP are investigating. And we are too, Janie, like it or not. Like it or not. She's already on the defensive. We don't have to tell you nothing. That's right. But you still insist on getting up in front of, a YouTube audience or on social media and start blasting bullshit. Don't forget, Janie, it's you guys who are missing the children. Why does she yell even her normal talk, Miss K? That's just how she is. Your buddy Teabagger's back. Teabagger! Teabagger! She's back and reinvented herself with Darren Geddes. Durwood. Buddy. Fucking guy. He's up there talking all about... what were you guys talking about? You sent me links. He was talking about... Well, I guess they're in cahoots now. Just like old Alvin outed them. Old Shenanigans and Darren Geddes going around pretending that they're detectives and all of this. Holy frick. What a pair. What a nonsense pair. Yeah, she's talking about the ATV. She sounds like she's driving 100K down a black road with the window down. Yeah, it's actually a good observation. She does sound like that, doesn't she? It's almost distracting. Her heightened emotional state is almost a distraction. You have to slow it down in your mind to discern what the hell it is she's saying, because you're distracted of her being on the attack. She's constantly on the attack. You need to thank me for being up here. You need to control her. Oh, fuck. She's already combative.
So everybody was there for hours and hours and hours. Mm-hmm. And it was an open area where you would have...
Think about how illogical that is. Somebody found a random footprint 500 meters in off of the road, just one random footprint, and everybody wanted to congregate there and start looking, as opposed to supposedly from where they left Gerallock Road. That's incredibly suspicious right there, especially for a couple people who are so... Our kids just walked away. They walked away on their own volition 17 minutes ago. Now they're going to be all the way the fuck out there in the middle of nowhere. Now, who stumbled upon that old footprint, I wonder? See, to the RCMP, that'll have a story as well. I wouldn't fucking believe anything that you hear around here necessarily unless it comes from Brandon or Anita. I don't know how Anita would know, but Brandon might know. He was down there and involved so early. What an awesome accidental witness he is. He was a witness to all of this bullshit. Didn't that Angeline chick say it was a clump of footprints, not just one? Yeah, it's kind of unclear. It's never really been clear, for that matter, Sam. It's not just that I don't know. It's never been really stated. It's just been acknowledged. And of course, when you probe the suspects, you get all kinds of fucking crazy answers. Don't expect the truth. But it's interesting to hear Janie say that, goes without saying that they're down there. They want that footprint to be associated to something far away from Gerallock Road, where we suspect things or something happened to Jack and Lily that day. Adamant about their bullshit story they gave to the day before, I mean. The RCMP of it only being within the past 17 minutes before your report to the RCMP. There's no logics. There's no logic behind it. Yeah, you guys are bonded to this 17 fucking minute thing. Remember? So 20 minutes before you called the police. Oh, remember, instinctually? Oh, I just called out of instinct. Bullshit. Kids were gone 17 minutes. It's important that we point that out because that's what they really are telling police and going by. How the hell are those two semi-naked toddlers going to get from Gerallock Road all the way in the middle of a fucking field 500 meters in from Lansdowne Road, away from your home? And why would you spend so much time up there if what you claim to be true, you have no reason to really leave unless it was in your own immediate, which you should have searched to begin with? Cares about that? This is all a fucking hoax. But it's important to mention because it's out there. It's what they're bonded to. None of what they claim happened that day really happened, or even if it did, it's not important to the situation. Their words should be important, but it would offer up some sort of lead or clue. They want to distance themselves from all of that by just suggesting to you that they were in and out of consciousness. They were snoozing while all of this happened. Unless you listen to Janie here. Janie says she actually heard the kids right up until the point that they disappeared. Like she's able to identify that. She did in that conversation. She has this habit, like we all do, to simplify things in order to try to impress upon you what the truth is. Now, Janie, we're not just choosing not to believe you. We are starting to now, based on all of your fucking bullshit lies up to this point. The things that you recite over and over and over again as though they're true, and they're not true. Nobody's walking, Sammy. No need to get worried. There's a good chance Haley was used in this circumstance too, right? Including to wait on for that individual.
How did I know the kids were going missing Friday morning? River Station.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what she's talking about. I'm not sure if that's what she's talking about or not, that geocache locale, Cassandra. Maybe what Brandon found in the stuff that he was present and witnessed is...
Then several.
Mike, I don't know. Maybe he only stepped on the little part of where I raked. I didn't rake the whole friggin'
Good to see you, Norsac Maniac.
One little spot. I don't know why he didn't walk and all. Like, I don't know why he only left one footprint. I can't answer that. Greg, if I knew all the answers, the kids would be found by now.
I don't know why Jack only left one footprint. She doesn't even want to hazard a logical guess as to why there's only one sole footprint around that entire piece of property in the wet mud right in the middle of where she is raking. You wouldn't think that maybe it was already there and you raked around all of the other ones, perhaps? You don't even want to paint a picture of it. Jeez. Oh, shit. No, Sammy, you're thinking in the wrong manner. You should be full of hope at this point in time. You can be mad at them all you want. there's a case building against them. All right. When caregivers falsely report their children as missing, there's normally one way to go about this sort of thing. And there's a parallel investigation going on that nobody ever mentions or talks about. They only talk about the case that's opened up based upon the false report. You don't need to be down. You don't need to be out. When guilty people when guilty people have to be in this position based on their own rehearsed narrative or their false story, police have to investigate it a certain way, and it all elevates based off of reasonable probable cause in the United States, but here it's called reasonable grounds. Same thing. And no matter what, no matter your immediate suspicion, you have to go through the legwork as an investigator to explain it. Or else it's just violating. You know, you get your emotions wrapped up in it, and I'm with you. I'm like, fuck, they're out their rights. They need to be in jail. I don't disagree with you based upon the words that we're hearing from them. Investigators are hearing the same thing, but they have to go through the process. That process takes time. And in that time period, they're choosing to continue to delay and disinform and whip people up into a frenzy. There's all kinds of reasons why they're out here doing that. They're not going to get away with anything. In fact, it's been slowly building, especially against Daniel, in the background all up to this point, because his charges stem from the parallel investigation that goes on alongside figuring out what happened to Jack and Lily. Like it or not. They have to build themselves their own timeline. It's not like this situation is lacking evidence. There's so much fucking evidence of foul play here that it would be impossible for the RCMP to miss it. It's a fantasy, and when you come across it at this point, a year after we are tied into this case, whether you're watching it or out here making content on it, making that jump, just trying to put all the blame on the RCMP for not having it done. Yeah, I wish there's probably something about each and every case that the RCMP have that they wish that they did things a little differently. Giving in and thinking that the suspects, because they really staged a scene and called in a false report in order to deter the police from finding out what really happened, isn't a get out of jail card, isn't a get out of jail free card. You're taking too much away from the natural process of things. What's unfortunate about the entire scenario is that no matter what, they have to do things the way that they're trained to do. And it all comes down to taking time, because that's what people are upset about. So much time, so many lies. Why haven't they just slapped cuffs on them based on the fact that they're lying? I don't have all the answers to you. But each and every lie that you recognize, or inconsistency or conflict, or reason to suspect them, red flags, the police are listing them as well. It all goes into that big old pile of circumstantial evidence. They still, nonetheless, have to figure out what happened. In the bare minimum, the best way to look at it is compare them to cases that have already gone with similar circumstances, like Oren and Orson West is a great example of how they had to come across and come upon the information to later hold against Jacqueline and Trezell in court. The longer and the more that they play these games, we'll call them, the easier it is for them to build some sort of defense along the way in order to use much farther down the line. To who knows what it could lead to, a mistrial, something that's going to benefit them. Unfortunately, it's hard to imagine that at this point. These people aren't getting away with anything scot-free. Now, you can argue things like that right now, especially Malaya's association to it, but it's far too early to come to that determination in reality. But people like to talk about the things that we have all the reasonable grounds to think that these suspects did something. Us sitting out here, and talking about it like this does help the guilty parties in this circumstance. You can't take it away from the RCMP for not having gotten their man at this point, considering what they have to comb through. It's not like they don't know. The things that I'm interested in right now is Darren Geddes. I still want to know exactly why he's attached to all of this and what bonds him to this scenario. There's something more than just what old Jordan wanted to emphasize as him just being a good Samaritan in that sense. Everybody in all of these families have proven themselves to be dishonest and not trustworthy and part of the greater cover-up. That's turning out to be true. Miss K, you're saying Daniel's court case prevents him from hiding out. That court case is going to expose what went on in Gerallock Road. DM is going to be on record under oath. Don't expect that to tell, these people are not going to come out here. I'd be very surprised with any sort of admission at any one point. They're taking this to the grave, so to speak. They're not about to waver, no matter how stupid they look and sound, no matter how blatantly obvious it is that they're fucking lying. That's their final word. Okay. They've sat here for a year and repeated it and contradicted it. They're inconsistent. All the red flags at all aside. They're not going to get up there and admit to anything. None of them. They're going to have, and they're making the RCMP do it the hard way, meaning that they have to go through their own process to build a timeline and hold it against them and try to prove that in court without any of their help. The good news is that means that these are suspects, and the reason they're not being cooperative is they have guilty knowledge. They're looking in the right place. Guaranteed. There's no reason to be following any sort of parallel fantasy possibilities at this point, considering how fucking suspect that they act. Well, that's a good comment there. What is that? Karsten Newman? Karsten. Janie is lying about hearing the kids in the morning. Such crap. Well, her suggestion that she said that she heard the kids is a form of distancing. She knows that's not what the police want to hear. They want to see when's the last time you that you saw the children. When's the last time you can verify the children were here? They're giving them the opportunity to be transparent and volunteer some information. And this hearing the kids is a lot of fucking hot air. It's Janie up there bullshitting you. It's her way of verifying that the kids, it's not an acceptable level of verification. Somebody hearing kids is not a verification that the kids were actually there. She could be fucking hearing the radio. She could be hearing her phone. She could be hearing all kinds of things. She doesn't want to verify the kids were out there in the first place. She sped it up in the last because she wants you to think that that's some sort of verification. Meanwhile, she has absolutely no fucking, pardon my French. She's got no ground here back to earth. She's in a fantasy world. She's overlooking the problem of the kids being there 1 second and not there the next, never to be seen or heard from again. And you're walking around talking about how you think the kids are still alive, based only off the fact of your fabricated nonsense story that you heard children out there laughing. Then you didn't. And that's it. So you're really the propagator of this goofy fucking scenario of the magically disappearing kids. How embarrassing for you to even come out with a statement like that, you fucking old bat. Daniel could have been responsible for the Holocaust and she would defend him to the end. What sort of unhealthy shit is going on around this fucking family? It sounds like Ron or Wayne and Alvin think in a similar way. What are you saying there, Ann Mountain? I surprised MBM's mother hasn't choked the truth out of that girl. This case could have been solved if they had hard-ass interrogation going on instead of this weak pussy footing around. No, it's not how they do things. It's not like a Hollywood movie, Ann. Behind closed doors, away from a microphone, off the record, believe me, those cops know that the children are most likely past, but they still have to do their job the right way. That's not how the investigation goes. It's not how the peace method is incorporated into procedure around any RCMP office or any other police office anymore. That hardcore interrogation tactics, what's your definition of that? Yelling and slapping people with a phone book? Torture? That doesn't work. You think Cindy is so virtuous in this circumstance? She's a part of this fucking nonsense. She knows what's happening and she's covering up on behalf of Malaya. Lori Green says MBM can't tell her she will expose herself for being party to anything and not reporting it. She's not saying anything. She's just exercising her right. That should tell you enough. Oh yeah, I can't find my kids, by the way. I'm not going to say anything anymore. Let me get on with my life. Oh, excuse me. You're the one who fucking called the RCMP, honey. You needed them. Or did you? You only need them to file this report and never solve it. That's going to be fucking impossible. There's so much evidence out there that they collected. Now, why would all of those toddler clothes, fresh out there, just recently planted, have anything to do with Jack and Lily? Probably because it was all their clothes. Why does it fall in line in the places that these stashes were found by Brandon line up so closely with the places that Bradley Wong said that the vehicle stopped between the periods of 11 p.m. May 1st into the early hours of May 2nd, around 4 a.m. Man, I wish we knew what sort of tests that they were doing and where they are with it. Man, oh man. Guess you'd have to put in an application. I guess you'd have to work yourself up the corporate ladder there at the RCMP to get to know this kind of stuff. But we can factor all of that in. We have every right being here talking about this day in and day out, considering the fucking garbage that's come out of their mouths. Yo, just mid-April. Miss K, you say, well, the RCMP got something on her because her lawyers motioned the court that due to sensitive nature, they want it hushed up behind closed doors. Oh, private. Yeah, don't worry about that. We won't tell anybody. I mean, it's fairly hard. It's really hard to get out of this one. Yeah, Ilyanka, saying, Malaya, you messed up because you called 911 too soon because you knew what was going on, according to Janie. Yeah, finger pointing and accusing from other people that were on the property since the call to 911 in the responding officer's statement that she took. You know, they've been going after Malaya every step of the way. That's just a form of intimidation. They're using that against her. They're putting that over her, right? Keeping her in line. Encouraging her to self-censor. Just a clapping seal. There are murdering nutcases running around all the time that you don't know about. But this, but you're not wrong. It's most definitely in the public's interest. Yeah. It's not suggesting anything, Janie. But you guys are all in the know about this particular one. Like, how do you think you're going to get out of this? No matter what, you're tied to that 17 minutes. There's so many lies, inconsistencies that you told the RCMP right away. Yeah, the behavior the first day doesn't suggest anything, but they were searching everywhere, as far and wide as you could possibly imagine. Why? Why? Because you had to cover up the tracks that you made the previous night, destroying all of that evidence. Why would you be out there destroying evidence out throughout the night? Yeah, but you're just mid-April. Listen. Stop for a second. Stop believing the garbage and considering the shit that comes out of the liar's mouth. You know that they weren't fucking in and out of sleep. They told you that they weren't. Almost immediately after, well, knowing what they gave the police, I should say, not immediately after. I shouldn't say that. You know that they weren't sleeping that fucking day. It wasn't how they described it. Daniel contradicted himself, and he said that's on the CBC interview. So when you say to you it means nodding, which could have been hours, no, that's just you taking their bait and distracting yourself and wasting all of that energy onto something else. It's just erase it right from your fucking memory. You just come up with it yourself like the RCMP are doing. Figure it out. What are you talking about, Mr. Hemme? They're not into squat. What are you talking about? They're all, but there might always be on the nod, is what you're suggesting. Yeah, but the nod would have a lot to do with, you would see it. I don't think that they are, dude. I don't think that it was a real problem, that particular substance. Because even if you're an addict, he's more like just a straight up math addict, all right? As opposed to somebody who's mixing and using trank and all of that nonsense. You would be able to tell. July 3rd is creeping up. I wonder if he will be held this time. No, fuck no. No, Christ, no. This is all procedure before a trial, dude. It's the early parts. I'm just expecting Daniel to plead not guilty and go to trial. But they keep bringing up new evidence against Daniel, which keeps delaying. Like there's a certain period of time discovery in that sense, that they have to absorb what new evidence is being brought forth and, arrange their defense. I want to know what the evidence is. There's like 3 or 4, maybe more things going on. You'd have to go get the details from Teabagger. Teabagger, let us in. What's going on? Maybe that's why she had to douse her old channel, because the RCMP told her that, you're walking a fine line considering you're on the inside you've been in the courtroom and you're bringing all of that information and playing with it in front of a larger group, which would be a bit of a problem. No, I don't think Justin was living there. Maybe. I don't know what living there means. Justin's just one of those things I keep in the back of my mind. It's not like I'm like, oh, if we only knew more about Justin, we'd have all of the answers. No, you just have more lies. When you keep going back to these fucking idiots and wanting them to explain and express and update us with fucking things, it's just another opportunity for them to lie to you and use your platform for that. Christ, how many times does somebody have to lie to you before you catch on? For the cops, it was only once. But it directs where the investigation is going. It's not, that's it. There's so many fucking lies here. You've hit a limit. We're going to have to throw you in jail. I guess it depends what the lie is. I mean, at some point, it could seem like that. But that would mean that they've have some sort of hard evidence against the person. It doesn't mean, there's nothing here. I guess you get away and you can go on with your lives, and we're going to be able to close this case, or it remains cold. Sure, that happens, but it's not happening in this case. Because it's Canada, because it's the RCMP, I'd be surprised if they weren't still dealing with all kinds of evidence that's in Ottawa. I forget what they call that building. But it's interesting because you've got little insights about, listening back a few months back in November and January, police were already talking to them and trying to piece together or questioning the suspects on the blanket. Now, you'd have to think that the blanket also means those other items that were found alongside it. The blanket that Brandon never saw, by the way, he only saw t-shirts, which is even more suspicious. But they tied it to their own garbage. So they've tied all of these dump sites together in my mind. A lot of pink. There's a pink theme. The fuck are you talking about, Captain Justice? You must be stoned. She's a scumbag, dude. You missed the tea lady. Don't even come in here fucking saying that. Go over there and say that. Well, April, it sounds like the family avoided going over there to the house in the first place. Nobody has ever met Jack and Lily for 2 years. Not just because they didn't like Jack and Lily, but because they didn't like fucking Daniel. They didn't like that little cocksucker with the fucking big ugly teeth. That stupid looking son of a bitch. Maybe Teabagger will come back with Darren as her co-host. Mayflower, that's what just happened. Why don't you go search for it on the internet. Teabagger and Darren Geddes hand in hand in love with their video. It's uploaded yesterday. What's no excuse? I think Durwood was suggesting something like because of all of the information that Brandon has, that he's responsible for taking the kids. Oh, good one. No, it's not what it would seem. But to Darren, of course it was. He's such a fucking moron. Darren, you hear that? You are the dumbest fucking individual in this entire case. You could have stayed quiet, or could you have? You're the man with the master plan. Yeah, because there's 8,001 video photo files that would need to be reviewed and some to be forensically examined. What do you mean, Miss K? Or maybe I'm having two conversations at once. I forget. Maybe it's something I said. Oh, shit. That's no excuse. Well, there's an excuse for them. If they don't go fucking over there, how would they know what he does? It's not their responsibility. It's Daniel and Malaya's and their inner circle. You know, the people who are being investigated forensically at this point. That's the greatest news of May the 1st. A little bit of a tidbit there. Just what time did you go to bed on Thursday night, Janie? It's not going to be such a stupid question when there's an answer to it, is there? Janie's performance was a textbook example of guarded, inconsistent storytelling under pressure. Janie, you hear that, baby? The T1000, that's what the T1000 says about your bullshit. Well, you're called into Mike, but it's always the same shit with you. She controls the narrative by yelling and repeating, "We told you everything," and attacking questioners rather than filling logical gaps. That's another thing that she shares with Alvin. We got that from that phone call from MOS. I told you all I know. I told you everything. He was all antsy. He just submitted in that call. It's still a bit of a mind blower. Good call. Good call. Oh, Robin Hensley. Oh, I'll let Mike know that. And Anita. You have to say Mike and Anita now. Manita. I'm a member of AB and Manita. I will not watch another creator after the past 13 months. I do not trust what they say after. Oh, the serial animal abuser. Zach and Teabag. Oh, yeah, fuck. Sadly, it's consistent in every case that blows up like this online. Not that this case is blowing up online by any means. But there's a consistent interest in it. Why? Why do you think that is, Daniel and Janie? Malaya? It's because you're lying. People sense it. People know it. People can tell. But again, if I'm to quote Janie, we don't need to fucking tell you everything. We don't need to fucking tell you everything. You're not the RCMP. I guess technically that's true, bro. I say that all the time, but yet you're the one, Janie, that keeps coming here insisting on interacting and what you're inciting is what you're doing. I stopped her from doing daily lives, AB. I don't know who you're talking about. The teabagger, you mean? Oh, fuck, good luck with that. You're going to do daily lives? Well, you should. Keep fucking lying. Then Alvin follows up. He saw them in picture. Oh, in a picture. Yeah. Well, maybe he was, because when kids are reported missing, obviously you're sharing pictures at that point in time. Maybe that's what Alvin was saying when he said he never laid eyes on them till that particular day. I wouldn't describe it like that, but I know what you mean, Michelle. I don't think Janie's overly confident. It just comes across like that because of her absolute yelling. The more confident you call it she gets, the more she omits, the more inconsistent she gets. That's not actual confidence in that sense. Confidence would go in line with the truth, the reality. That's not what we're experiencing. That's not what we're witnessing with Janie. You're witnessing somebody performing, yelling, talking the other person down in that. No. She's performing, she's acting, she's pretending to be confident. Kind of like this. I got sent this audio clip from Brandon. This voice clip from Daniel. Maybe I did read it, but I don't remember. Way back on June 6th. Brandon says, I wasn't going to share this, but at some point people have to ask themselves why this degenerate, meaning Daniel, inbred hillbilly, is so obsessed with attacking me. To be clear, I have never used Facebook dating in my life. I have never spoken to Malaya, and I never would. Yet we are expected to believe a story that supposedly took place over 3 years ago, a time when I was busy caring for my partner as they battled cancer. The fact that someone would invent or repeat nonsense like this says far more about their character than it does about mine. And Daniel, explain something to me. Why would I have been a topic of discussion 3 years ago, you stupid dunce? The more you talk, the more your story falls apart. Every attempt to attack me only creates more contradictions, more questions, and more evidence for people to examine. This moron keeps digging himself deeper with every post, every comment, and every accusation. At this point, it's obvious that he's triggered by me and can't help himself. The difference between us is simple. I don't need to invent stories, and I keep receipts. Major Crime Units already has this, along with other material. To my understanding, you've been warned before, Danny, not just by me, but by law enforcement as well. Yet here you are continuing to put your own words and actions on display for everyone to see. Carry on. Now, here's the clip. It's Daniel up on Charmaine's talking about how Brandon was trying to date Malaya back 3 years ago when they were still fresh in their love and their romance. Dude, you moved in with this fucking chick after 2 weeks, you fucking retard. Into Patty's house. Well, it's Love at First Facebook site. Let's see here.
All right, Charmaine, I'm going to tell you this. When I first met Malaya, I was sitting on the couch with her. This was probably, a month into me and Malaya dating. And Cheryl's sister, Shelby, sends her a photo. I'm pretty sure it's of Brandon Lemieux. And then Shelby asked her, like, were you talking to this guy on Facebook dating? And I'm pretty sure Malaya said, yeah. So, like that, I'm pretty sure she might have been talking to Brandon before, and then Malaya started a relationship with me. Maybe he, I don't know, has some kind of ill will against me for some. All right, Charmaine, I'm going to tell you this. When I first met Malaya, I was sitting on the couch with her. This was probably, a month into me and Malaya dating. And Cheryl's sister, Shelby, sends her a photo. I'm pretty sure it's of Brandon Lemieux. And then Shelby asked her, like, were you talking to this guy on Facebook dating? And I'm pretty sure Malaya said, yeah. So, like that, I'm pretty sure she might have been talking to Brandon before, and then Malaya started a relationship with me. Maybe he, I don't know, has some kind of ill will against me for some.
I think that's really funny. Yeah, that's easy to see through. No, well, of course. That's all you fucking got, bro. I think that Brandon, he must be obsessed with Malaya type of thing. Yeah, a few years ago. I'm going to tell you this there, Charmaine. I'm going to tell you this. Oh, yeah. Did you date this guy 3 years ago? So you're telling me you identified this dude 3 years later. And he's holding something against you, obviously, because he wanted so badly to get in and be with Malaya. Man. Woo! Heavens to Betsy. I wonder how her new relationship with the fucking grill sergeant's going. With the line cook at Dairy Queen, with that dude. How are things going, you guys? A couple weekends in now. Remember, you have to try to stay in all 4 seasons there. You never know where it could go. You're gonna kids in your future? Oh no, I put that on my profile. Absolutely doesn't want kids. Tell us about it. Michelle, AB, the reason why I say Janie's overly confident is Janie needs to go over this fake line to reassure herself that they're all set. Oh, you mean you think that they're overly confident in the story that they gave the RCMP? Fuck. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I could agree with that. But it doesn't make the story credible in that sense. It doesn't make the story what happened. You know, everybody still has to get a little bit of that and shake that cobweb out of their mind, because we've had to go on what the suspects and the information that they've shared with us, knowing full well that it's probably a lie. The one thing that's true is that the kids aren't there anymore. And they were supposed to be. What are you talking about, Lori Green? No. Your argument doesn't stand here. Why would any witness want to speak out on social media? They've answered that for you already. If their version of events was true, I really don't get that. How come, Lori, that sometimes you seem clever and the other times you just seem stupid? Think about it. They've stated already there's so much lies in what it is that we're talking about, 2 missing children. Okay, he's given his account and been involved with the case since the get-go. You don't get why people speak out publicly? No. Well, then that's you. You wouldn't speak out? Well, that's just what Daniel and Malaya and everybody want. That's just what the guilty parties need. No, it doesn't float with me. Don't even lie, Mr. Hemi. You're on Facebook dating. I ran across your profile yesterday. Didn't you get my wink? Didn't you get my nudge? They think that their storyline is ironclad, but once they are grilled and questioned, the cracks appear. They know to default this overly simple storyline. Oh, yep. They have a story all ready to go. It's not a very good one. Ilyanka, I know there are those who are expected to speak out publicly and they're not. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Malay. Like, should this be a legitimate situation? But again, it's not. No, I don't know what your point is, Lori. I know what you're trying to get by on me, but no, I don't agree. And it's silly. You don't understand why people are motivated to speak out in this circumstance. They're not coming solely to social media saying, believe me. They're giving us a little bit of a window in, considering the contradictions between the last 3 people to see Jack and Lily alive and what they witnessed. Has nothing to do with choosing to come to social media as a priority. You're making it out to be something that it's not here. You can keep repeating it over and over and over again. It's you who's not getting it. It doesn't make them questionable. God damn you! Damn you to hell! Let's see. Where is my clip? Where is my clip?
Daniel Martell walks into the Pictou County Provincial Courthouse Monday morning, met by a symphony of shutter clicks. He's been charged with 1 count of assault, 1 count of sexual assault, and 1 count of unlawful confinement against an adult female between September 2024 and March 2025.
The window of the charge, the multiple charges that are before the court, are beyond 12 months. I would proceed by indictment based upon the time frame of the charges because there is no statute of limitations per se, other if you're proceeding by way of indictment.
Martell first became a familiar figure in the media when his stepchildren, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, went missing on May 2nd, 2025. To this day, Nova Scotia RCMP say the case remains a missing persons investigation.
So much half-truth to that. It's just a PR claim. This is what they say in the media. Let me get this pulled up. I want to see our interviews. Where's the Jack and Lily list?
2 children missing.
Oh, you fat bastard, shut up. Fake ass searches. Fat fucker. Let me see. I'm fat too, though. Very first one.
6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her brother, 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, are still missing in this rural area of northeastern Nova Scotia. The RCMP is the lead agency here, along with EHS, hundreds of search and rescue crews from Halifax to Cape Breton. During the daytime, there are anywhere from 100 to 140 search and rescue crews in the woods, and the search continues all night. They deploy between 60 and 75 search and rescue crews in the woods all night long. So each searcher will work a 12-hour shift before they have to take a rest. There are 3 helicopters in the air, and there are dogs as well involved in this search, drones too. Search and rescue officials are keeping very close track of which sections of this area around Lansdowne have been searched, and once that area is covered, they move on, and they say it's important that no one wander in. Incidentally, this search has been the first assignment for the Nova Scotia Provincial Guard. They aren't directly involved in the search, but they're helping with traffic, protection of parked vehicles overnight, and just generally giving directions to people who are coming and going, those involved in the search and rescue effort. Earlier today, we spoke to the partner of the 2 children's mother. Here's some of what he had to say about Jack and Lily.
Lily and Jack are awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone. They're just looking to have as much fun as they can. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that.
You're really putting the blame back onto the kids. Really putting the blame back onto the kids there, Danny. They're just looking to have as much fun as possible. What a real party scene out there.
And just generally giving directions to people who are coming and going, those involved in the search and rescue effort. Earlier today, we spoke to the partner of the 2 children's mother. Here's some of what he had to say about Jack and Lily.
Lily and Jack are awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone. They're just looking to have as much fun as they can.
Priority. Blame the kids. They really emphasize the fact that they have possible autism to the police. Well, they either do or they don't, guys. And they were known to wander. First contradiction in this case was the known to wander. Then in their statements, 2 out of the 3 said they weren't known to wander. They could barely and would barely move anywhere. It'd be one thing if this was the middle of summer, but it's not. It's May 1st, May 2nd. The nights get down and got down to around what? -1? 30 degrees Fahrenheit? No. No, kids always want food, Danny. Kids are always hungry, or they should be. really trying to drop the hint that they've got no fucking idea what has happened. No, we were outside, we were doing this, doing that, and then I turned around and they were gone. No. It's just the kids' fault because they're just overly friendly. They're so friendly that they'll go with anybody, especially if you offer them food or water, Danny. They'll go with anybody, and they're just out to have as much fun as possible. In the middle of a rural area in the morning. Would they go down to the club? Just looking for a good time with any stranger, Daniel. Yeah, 6 and 4. Just looking to have a good time. That's exactly what he put on his Facebook dating profile, I bet. Yes, Sandra Martin. Lily was starting to speak out about the abuse. Now, in this case, considering all of the players, how they're lying and how they're covering for one another, it's only just a shot of evidence away that we realized where and what type of abuse was going on. Right, Kent? Right, Darren? Only liking kids the clean way? I wonder if Shenanigans only likes kids in the clean way too. Your co-host. Oh, yeah. What a comedy fucking central that'll be. Oh, shit.
Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that. But
Wonder how long they threatened the kids for, that if they don't do as they're told, that they're going to disappear. They're going to make you disappear. You probably carried out a promise. People that are close to the family who know say that Daniel hated the kids. Biggest problem with this clip. The kids were being neglected. Food was an issue, the lack of it. If kids don't have nutrients, they can't learn, they can't behave. Think about all the crap that they probably substitute real food for every time that they're in the drive-thru. Oh, you gave the kids a bagel, did you? There's no fucking nutrients there. Certainly not enough for a growing body. Yeah, Bonnie, I don't know how much I want to overthink it. It just keeps coming back to the same thing. They'll go with anyone who offers food or water. Let that sink in. Yeah, what a thing to say. It's one of those situations where there's no right thing to say. It's just interesting how off people in this situation, especially suspects, the things that they come up with in placement of the typical, the best things, victims in this circumstance would be needing to say. You're spending all of your time putting the blame back onto the kids. Yeah, we woke up and the kids just chose to wander off on their own. Janie, she just heard them. And then she heard them disappear. Janie heard the kids disappear, according to Janie. She heard the action. Michelle, we've been doing that since. Michelle, I agree with what you're saying, but you can see how manipulative and off it is every step of the way. I wish we had the information the RCMP is privy to. We can do the next best thing. Thanks to people like Brendan and Anita.
Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, Bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister.
He says he's also hoping police monitor the New Brunswick border and the airports for any sign of the two children. But RCMP tell us this afternoon they're not considering any possible abduction here. As far as they're concerned, they're looking for two young children who simply wandered away.
I know that there's a lot of people pulling for these kids to come home. We've heard a lot about the impact that this is having on the community at large and the family, and it's really important that we locate these children and get the information from the scene here and from anyone who might have information about the kids and their habits. So it's been really important to have engagement from anyone who knows these kids.
A spokesperson for the Chignecto Central Regional Center for Education tells us the two children were students.
Yeah, you know what, Bonnie? Fake crying. You're talking about Daniel in that clip. Well, think about Daniel perfectly times his emotions for the camera to make it look like he's upset. Absolutely, it's fake. You waited all of this time and you can't hold your crying down to communicate some important information with the camera in such a what should be an emergency situation. Oh, you're just so tight with Jack. That's your mention of his name and the things that he likes. That's just what you chose to use as your trigger. The real Robert De Niro, this guy.
Students at Salt Springs Elementary School. Their stepdad told us they'd both been out sick all week before disappearing on Friday. The school has additional support staff on site at Salt Springs if anyone needs that.
Out sick all week. This whole thing with the kids not going to school that week. I heard Anita talking about the possibilities of them really keeping the kids home and with them at all times to be avoiding perhaps an appointment from CPS, an expected visit, an expected meeting, a request. Maybe the CPS was going to the school.
Support. Meanwhile, the search will continue into the night here in the Lansdowne area of Pictou County for young Jack and Lily Sullivan. RCMP and search and rescue officials tell us they will have search and rescue crews on the ground. They'll have dogs with them, and they'll have drones in the sky all night long. Preston Mulligan, CBC News, Lansdowne, Pictou County.
In other news today, the search continues this morning for two missing children in rural Nova Scotia. Crews have been combing through the woods around Pictou County since Friday when police believe they wandered away from their home. Brett Ruskin is live in Halifax. He's picking up the story for us this morning. Where do things stand today, Brett, with the search efforts?
Good morning, Heather. Yes, search efforts are continuing this morning for these two missing children here in Nova Scotia. So we have 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. They went missing on Friday morning. Now, we heard from the children's stepfather recently. Here's what he had to say about this situation.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning when we noticed that the children were gone. Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
That's just fucking brutal. Well, the kids were talking at school Gypsy Flow. We know that because of the teacher, Lily's teacher. Lily's teacher called Malaya at 9:30, asking them if the kids or where the kids were. Malaya told her that they were off sick that day. And the teacher said a lot more to the National Post. Tony, the easy answer to that, because Jack and Lily didn't have anybody in their life. They were isolated. The only people that were going to report how thin Lily was at any one point in time, the only people with those pictures in their possession, probably the suspects right now. You keep mistaking and thinking that Jack and Lily had a great big family in their life and everybody was in love and this is a big happy scenario. The kids were isolated. The kids were being treated as extra weight. They were unwanted. They were a nuisance around the house. An expense. And Dan and Malaya were busy stifling their own appetites. That's what gets put onto the kids. The eating was not a priority for these individuals at any one time. Going through the drive-through and buying a coffee and a snack is about as good as it gets. Why? Because the substances that they're on are appetite suppressants. The best type of appetite suppressant. Yeah, Lucy, I don't care about that. Tony the Tyrant, those weirdos have no business being around kids. Yeah, it's a little late for that, though. Anastasia, you're saying this is like a Dickens novel. What do you mean about Victorian tenements and things like that? How dirty and nasty poor people lived in Victorian times? Yeah, just a description of neglect and the things that go along with having no place in society in that sense. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like Oliver Twist would be one. Yeah, Bonnie, me too. Those teachers loved them kids more than their own family, it seemed. My heart breaks. How some kids were a burden, Anna? Yeah. Yeah, that's just heartbreaking and sad. But unfortunately, it's a real thing. Especially if you're Malaya's insistent on being part of this relationship. She had to have been in one fucked up state of mind to be in this situation to begin with. She probably doesn't know any different. Overarching theme, bottom line, they didn't know how to nurture the kids. We've well established this, but it doesn't get old. It should, but it doesn't until it's validated. We're all awaiting impatiently. I don't know what you're waiting. Listen, we can see it. We know. Don't be expecting much to be validated in that sense. You have to be more confident in what your eyes and ears and your senses tell you about this situation based upon what it is we're learning. Sadly, that's all true here. You don't have to have direct admissions from the parents. Just listen to them. Just listen to what they're prioritizing in that moment. Or what they're not. I get you. I get what you're saying. Eating and meal times have not been mentioned as a part of the 48-hour timeline at all yet. It should factor in there. It's factored in because it wasn't there. That's its factor. It's a big, it's not there. There's no mealtime. There's no mention of it over at Patty's. It should be one of the things that happen in those days that take up a significant amount of time, like at least an hour, 2 hours maybe. But it doesn't. There's no mention of it. Even old Janie omitted the fact that she was giving the kids snacks, Jack and Lily, on that Thursday. She told cops she did. There's a chance to be nourished, but she's only giving the kids cereal, so she just gives them fucking sugar anyway. What's up, Brian? Yeah, that's really insulting to people's intelligence, Esther, when they pretend to love and have loved and cared them. But still, it doesn't communicate through like that. Of course, they say it, but then they follow up. They follow up, and in those words, they give themselves away. We can tell that these poor two children were unwanted, especially on that Gerallock Road residence, no matter what. You're right, Tony. Janie's seen the abuse of these children, and she's disgusting. Well, again, she's prioritizing her own child, Daniel, above and beyond everybody else. She's got his back, and that's been a problem, and that's been a factor into why Jack and Lily are no longer living. No doubt. Absolutely would have to be. Because Janie is the one person around there that can throw heavies and influence things because she was landowner. She's the landlord around there. She not only enabled it, which is fine, but she's encouraging the shitty attitude and the resentment towards this new hussy of yours, this Malaya Brooks. On top of it all, she was pregnant with Janie's soon-to-be grandbaby. Why don't you guys get a DNA test done? Go on the Steve Wilkos show. Gypsy, there's nothing, no bedtime, story time, playtime, dinner, lunch, breakfast. For a baby and a 4 and a 6-year-old, there was absolutely in their accounts for those 3 days, there was nothing that would resemble anything like a normal family with a baby and 2 toddlers. Your entire day should be fucking taken up by all of that. All based around cooking, cleaning, changing diapers, bathing, laundry, every day with 3 kids, plus your own, plus yourselves. They're fucking dancing around Hell's Half Acre. It's like they were out avoiding something, wasn't it? With the kids. Now, I'd say the kids didn't eat. The kids got ate as they sought fit. They even say going out to get something to eat. Why the fuck do you go out to get something to eat when you've got food in the refrigerator? There's a big price difference, especially your finances are an issue and you're still going through spending $20 at the fucking drive-through every opportunity. You get into bad habits because you're probably doing it on somebody else's money. Is that even possible, Ilyanka? AB, I've never commented on the paternal DNA tests. Who's the daddy? And I'm talking more than just one dude. Oh, you mean testing more than just one dude? Not that more than one dude can be your daddy. Maybe she was sleeping with more than one person at one time. Maybe Meadow is part donkey. Although she would already be part donkey just for having that Mackenzie bloodline in her. She's 1/8 donkey. MBM probably could not even boil water. Sandra, anybody can boil water. MBM probably would not even boil water. That's more like it. She just chooses not to. She's too fucking high. I'm overstimulated up here, guys. What could you fucking possibly be overstimulated on over there when there's nothing getting done? The place is a fucking disaster. You're not cooking. You're just sitting around fucking doing nothing and you're already overstimulated. What a fucking nightmare. What a nightmare. This is like, what in the fuck? Why are you guys even together? Usually there's something about, there's things about people that you could see that, oh, is probably a charming individual. The only thing that they have in common is the fact that they're addicts. They're addicts and they like to fucking neglect their kids. They have the same kind of mental illness in that sense. How would you even fucking know after 2 weeks? Oh, girl, I'm moving in. Janie, that's another factor. Maybe Daniel fucking hated it out there listening to Janie so much, you know, any little nibble on the line and he was flying that coop. He didn't want to be around mom that long. Where was he before that? We don't really know. Yeah, well, they definitely became that, and they're certainly that right now, Stacia. With this unfortunate situation, heaven's sakes. They had food in the fridge. Well, there's sauerkraut is good, and it's healthy for you. Good for your digestive tract. But sadly, sauerkraut's only a fucking topping on your dogs or your burgers or however you want to eat it. Sauerkraut. What is this? They fed sauerkraut in the gulag. If you're lucky. You need more than that. Steal Janie's eggs? Nobody steals Janie's eggs. Those chickens are roosters. They don't lay eggs. Do you know Mikey? Mikey's a man. Mikey's a male. How the fuck could you not be up and going with all of those wild chickens out there? What you mean to tell me that you just slept through everything? Those chickens are the one thing, those roosters will be the one thing that's on schedule daily. Whether they're inside or out. You'll hear the little bastards. Especially that you're looking after them. You just naturally, you don't need to rely on a clock. You just naturally wake up after a while. Fucking bullshit us, Janie. Kimberly, you're saying that they couldn't even agree on what they ate on Thursday night or if they ate at all? They didn't eat anything on Thursday night. There was no supper time. There's no mention of it. There's a big hole. Talk about Thursday, May 1st. That's a specific one. That's the night that something happened. We suspect. Has to be. There's nothing worth remembering, guys. Don't you remember? That's what you could have based your your sound timeline around. It's always based around the things that you remember from the day before, like eating would be a good start. What did I do after that? Kind of like when I got that fucking ticket last night. I could have sworn that I moved my car, but then I'm like, is that just me that I want to think that I did? Yeah, I fell asleep. Shit. You think that they both had issues before meeting each other? They thought they could make it another overly confident, opinion-based with their rug addict minds, DM-enabled MBM, and we know she loves that. Yeah. Vice versa. Anybody can sit there and promise anything and talk about how wonderful the other person is to the point of gaslighting them for a couple weeks. And then shit gets real. It's like, wait a second. Why is it you keep telling me you love me? What is it about me that you love me? What is it about me that you love? Oh, you love my... Oh, uh-huh. Then you realize it's like, ooh, man. Too bad she couldn't reverse that. Oh, you're just such a great guy, Daniel. You're such a fucking great guy. Hey, kids, here's the new daddy. Here's your new daddy, guys. Think about how they were put... The needs of Jack and Lily in this situation was never in consideration. And that shows with how she did Cody in that sense. There's no talk about trying to keep dad in the picture no matter what it is that she wanted to do. Just the statement that she wanted, she wanted full custody, which isn't a big deal. But then Cody just walked away, which is his choice. Now who do the kids have? The kids didn't have anybody in their lives. None. Nobody. The only person that should have looked out for them, Malaya, was busy. Of course, Daniel only wanted Malaya. You think Danny moved in to Patty's house because of Jack and Lily? If he did, there's another problem. Jack and Lily were never prioritized. I don't know what excuses you'd be making, Mayflower. Didn't DM play around with the appliances and break them in the trailer? Allegedly. The washer spinner. Plus no running water. I think they had running water. They just had issues with the septic. Issues with things. Things that needed to be fixed. The stuff that Danny was supposed to be up all night tweaking out fixing. A father can support without money by babysitting while mommy goes to work. Well, that would be a benefit. But of course, that was never in their cards, Ilyanka, because they don't work to begin with. All right. So there's not a need to take that into consideration because she doesn't intend to ever get a job and do fucking anything anyway. That was a problem over at Patty's, and Janie's not going to be much different. It's not like they don't have a point, but it's probably something that worn her a little bit, I would expect. Contributed to her poor mental health. But you can argue a bunch on that. She's contributing to her poor mental health by simply being out there. What is it that's keeping you bonded out there? We know of the one time that Wade and Cindy were going to come pick you up at the U-Haul. Apparently there's 2 other times. There's 2 other times, according to Anita. ABA, both. MBM said bagels. You're talking about what they had. Bagels for dinner. Danny couldn't remember. That means nothing. You're Talking about what the kids had to eat on Thursday. Bagels at the drive-thru. That's what they had to eat the entire fucking day. That's neglect right there. That's all right, Ilyanka. You can wind me up. Gets me going. I'm looking for topics. It's a slow day, slow news day. Feel free. Poor fucking Lori had to jump down her throat. Well, I had to do one. Had to say that. You're going to have to figure it out. It's not a point, Lori, when you bring that up. It's not a point. You just think it's a fucking point. Especially in this circumstance. I had to take one. I had to do it. Sorry, Lori. I had to go there. I had to take it there. Still welcome here, though. Probably had to split one bagel, the poor things. They probably didn't even finish it. Probably fell down. Fell down on the ground and they can't reach it. Kids will be eating every 2 hours. You got to work just to keep them to that. Always fucking something. Can I have a snack? You want more snacks? You want more of this? You want more chips? Always eating. Should be. But there's not a word of food when it comes to these folks. Oh yeah, Mr. Hemi. It's not even confirmed they ate a bagel. Maybe a bagel. That's true, Mayflower. That's just what they said. But I guess you would expect it if it was bought in the drive-thru. It's just to validate their story in the moment. But it goes without saying, you wouldn't even have to take that into account. Only a bagel. It's questionable. So you didn't even have, you didn't even have a supper time planned. The hell do you do around there? Just stand around and fucking look at each other? Well, it saves a lot of food prep, doesn't it? Fuck it, I'm just not going to eat. Got to keep your healthy figures. Michelle Mybell, agree, Mr. Hemi, about Cody having zero empathy. He has so much info, I'm sure, but he hasn't come out to speak. Is he angry or ashamed? Yeah, I would expect that he just wants to avoid this altogether. Yeah, I think maybe that she was hoping that, Mr. Hemi, are you talking about Malaya? I think there's probably that hope that Cody would fight for his kids in that way. Yeah. And she wanted to punish him by, it seemed like they were being used as pawns in this game in this sense. There's really, really no need for them to go through the court process in the first place if they were in agreement of anything. Maybe it got to a point where she brought it to court in order to try to motivate him into having some sort of agreement to run by instead of always fighting for how much or if he should contribute in the first place. Oh, fuck. There's nothing about Malaya. Blinda's smoking crack. There's nothing about Malaya that's ever said a good mother. She's never, ever been a good mother. You can take all the goddamn pictures you want with people in the clothes that they give you. Get your little dopamine fix when you post it on Facebook. That doesn't mean shit. And it doesn't here in this case, too. Considering all of the information that we come to find out. Like people are looking for a moment in time where this happened. And it's always been like that with Malaya. She's always put herself ahead of her children. Always. Then she fucking met Daniel on Facebook dating, and then it got progressively worse because there's an outside influence there, always working away from what should actually be, which is a healthy, stable home environment for these kids. You wouldn't even have have chanced it if you acknowledge that that's important in the first place. But no, your dick getting wet was more important to you, Danny. You throwing a leg over Malaya each and every morning. Getting high on your same supply. Firehorse, it's funny to even say it like that. But listen, DM said he thought the kids were sleeping at Tim Hortons. Well, the fact that he's got... it's because he was ignoring them the entire time. Like, you don't know what's going on in your own car, bro. That's just... It speaks to the amount of neglect and not giving a shit. That's what it seems. That's what it reads like anyway. Of course, that's how he is. You're saying Danny thought the kids were sleeping at the Tim Hortons, and MBM said she might have got them a bagel. Yeah, they weren't quite sure. But again, if you go back and you read that Firehorse, read it alongside the rest of what it is that they said about that day. Nothing is for sure. Daniel's statements were all fucked up on, different things happening different days. She thinks trying to get an accurate depiction of what went on was impossible and didn't happen for the officers. You still take you still have to take the statement though, right? But when you analyze it afterwards, there's no clear anything on what you were doing, especially weeks later to come back on the CBC and contradict most of it. Heavens to Betsy, a good mother knows where her kids are because she's with them. I drag my lazy ass up, get them breakfast as soon as I hear them up. Most times I just get fruit in the morning. It's easy. It doesn't take a lot of prep. Nobody's firing on any cylinders around there, considering the fact that they starve themselves. Think about what's the first, well, there's a few, but what's the major sign, the commonality amongst humans when they're lacking in nutrition? What's its effect physiologically speaking? Humans get irate, grumpy, hangry. They can't think straight because they're so fucking hungry. They jump down your throats and they're rammy. It's difficult to absorb information. You're short-circuiting. You're all over the fucking place. You think that meth was supplementing your diet? I just need this water in this bowl right now. Ilyanka slapped together a sandwich, for crying out loud. I know it's my favorite way to cook. Mine too. I like sandwiches. Gotta be careful though. Gotta be careful. All those cured meats and luncheon meats, too much isn't good for you. You just have to have a little bit. But there's nothing keeping you from cooking up a turkey or a roast beast and eating it and all the fine leftovers you get from it. Casseroles. Think about how much fun there is to be had, especially with your romantic partner in the kitchen. Think about all of the ways into somebody's heart just through feeding them hearty food and great food. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can say all kinds of shit about my ex-wife, but I'm telling you, dude, that woman knew how to cook. It changed my life. Fucking loved it. But I picked up all kinds of healthy habits along the way. That's what I miss most about being married. She was a damn good cook. She's a bit of a we didn't see eye to eye on different things, other things, of course. But I'll never take away from her cooking. Especially this macaroni tuna salad she made that was always in the fridge with chopped up onions and celery and things like that. Because when you have kids, they're always in the fridge picking. You can always go have a bowl of something like that that's just healthy. Go and have a bowl of it. Fill yourself up. I fucking did. Man, that was handy as hell. Almost took it for granted. It was so damn good. Probably felt taken for granted. Well, 15 years too late. I finally appreciate your cooking that much more 15 years later, hun. There, whatever your name was. But really, think about how important to your family food is. Probably just as important as water. Now, water's easy to get, easier. But food, that's not even in the cards. Especially having to go through the motions, especially when you're in the throes of addiction. Just a pain in the ass. And all of a sudden, these kids get to be a real pain in the ass. And you're minimizing meal times. No wonder they're so damn thin. They're not eating. Those kids are not. You can't tell me that they're eating, especially out of their statements. The simple ones like, what did you do? There's no mention of any sort of mealtime. No breakfast. We didn't sit around for breakfast and read the paper and drink orange juice and flapjacks or waffles or sausage, eggs. You know how to make an omelet, girl? Here, that'd be the first thing that we do, Malaya. I'm going to teach you all of the things that I like to eat. How misogynistic is that? I probably would do that. I would never be with her in the first place. If you got to come with some skills, you know what I'm saying? How are you going to get with somebody that doesn't have any skills? What is so attractive about that person? Well, you didn't love her for her cooking. That's for sure. You loved her because she refused to cook. She's just so independent that she doesn't even need food to survive. Holy shit. First fucking thing on those Facebook dating apps. If there's no mention of cooking, you don't want to be with her. Especially if you're a dude. If it's a girl, it's probably more expected that the guy doesn't know much. You know, he might know how to Barbie a little bit. You know that he likes to eat. That's all you need. That's something to work with from the female perspective. Easy to win over. Easy to make him fall in love with you. I'm not talking about your cheesecake. But I'll tell you, after being through it a couple times, that's true. Even looking back now, of all the shit and arguments that a person has been through, you can't take anything away from the person's ability to cook and all of the tasty things that you ate compared to how you prepare meals as a single parent or a single person. You make that extra mile, you take it that extra step. It's something that you both look forward to. It's like, yeah, I can't wait to eat your food again tonight, girl. Yeah, you know that lasagna? Who doesn't love a good goddamn lasagna? Janie, do you make lasagna? I don't think so. Probably makes a poor man lasagna. Prison lasagna. If you're a good cook for your man, you know where he is at dinner time. That's true too. Some things are never enough for men, though. I like that. If Dan couldn't find his stapler for months, how the heck could he find the stove in that trailer? Does the stove actually work? Be nice with a family that size. You need a freezer, bro. What the hell were they doing in the middle of Walmart at 8 o'clock on that Wednesday at night, PM, past the kids' bedtime. You're fucking busy in Walmart at the kids' bedtime. You don't work. You don't do anything else. You're fucking around all day. Why couldn't you have stopped at Walmart during the day and got whatever you needed? What is it that you got anyway so late at night? A stupid time of night to be out with your kids. In this case, it's like you were avoiding something. Well, you know the CPS doesn't work until after 9 p.m. Maybe you were waiting to get back. It's all clear. All clear. Well, how could nothing... what are you expecting there to be in the trailer, Sandra? You expect there to be a fridge and a stove? A sink? No, the laundry's out. Why the fuck are you going... How far is Truro? 40K? Say an hour of driving to go and do laundry at Patty's. Even if it was free, it's still costing you money to go and do laundry. You could go on Kijiji and pick up a good washer, even one that a small one you could fit anywhere for $100. Dude. Like there's some dysfunction going on that you can pick out already just from the initial statements. And it's not like there's an answer for it. You know, early on, all of these questions, you just put in the back of your mind. Afterwards, when you bring them back to the forefront, it seems like it's more of a pattern. Well, it is a pattern. More of a pattern. They probably lose track of time. Corey Edwards, when you're in the throes of addiction, there's no such thing as time. Especially when you get high, that's the first thing to go. They're always high. So, according to Anita, Daniel said the kids and his kid were getting fat. He likes slim kids, hence the lock on the fridge. I don't know. I never heard her say that yet, Malaya. Or Mayflower. But I'm not all about that. But in this case, who knows? You're telling me there's locks on the fridge for corrective action? Well, then it'd be worth a further question. The kids that weren't special needs to where they couldn't understand or follow directions. Saying the kids were getting too fat, that's why he put the locks on the fridge. You could see that if you're going to trigger a group of people. Yeah, Lucy, that's what they said, that they were sick. Yeah, they haul them around all day. They're not sick, you dumbass. That's just your excuse. There's no reason for the kids to be at home. There's absolutely no reason for the kids to be home other than Wednesday was a PA day. Yeah, there's still that Robin Edwards. The Wednesday night we would have been home sooner. You mean what he said to Janie, or they said that he said? If you want to look into that, but I wonder where in those 3 days Daniel getting the Dodge Journey stuck fits in. We know it happened. Uncle Wayne talks all about it. Or was it Wayne? Actually, Brandon's conversation with the brother in the red pickup truck is where I'm getting that from. I don't have it right in front of my face, though. Maybe that was Brian? There's Wayne, Alvin. I have to look. I forget. Yeah, Susan B., what kind of sauce? And is he cooking the rest? Looks like a concentration camp all around there, Leonka. Except here that there's more things. More junk. No, Mr. Hemi, they're not special needs. In order to get more monthly money for them, they actually have to have a diagnosis from a doctor, something that they did not have. So they weren't doing that and getting more money. And a doctor just doesn't diagnose because you want it. You want to claim that they're special needs. They have to have some sort of disability.
Yeah. Anyways, how is everybody doing? Welcome. I'm gonna tell you guys, don't try. I know who is who.
Message
And
from
so
Mike
if you want to
Demand.
come in here trying to sidetrack us, it's not going to work.
Not
at
going to work.
all. Period. And that's why I'm making sure that I keep this, sane. Because Karen Stevens had made several comments to Brandon on YouTube channels as well. Yep. Karen Stevens, I don't know who that person is. I really don't. I saw this person around a while ago. A few months ago, I had to block that person and from my channel. And I do this very, very quickly. If I don't feel right about somebody, I just, if they make stupid comments, I immediately feel like I don't need them here. I don't need to, be polite to anybody because this case is under investigation. This is an active investigation.
She pretends that she's my family friend and she's known me, and I don't know this person.
Right. I feel like pulling up the message that you forwarded to me from this person, just
Go
to give
ahead and
people
show the phone number
to
my ex.
Sure, what the
And then she pretended to AB that she was a family friend and knows me, and I don't know her. And I truly believe I spoke to my ex and my children, and they have never spoken to her. I think she tried to reach out to them.
Right.
I think she stalked him on Facebook, but they have not spoken to her. And she's the one who told AB that it was Jamie that got busted. Remember the cocaine thing?
Yeah.
And she gave him the wrong person. It's her.
Right. I mean, you got to be careful. I mean, I don't know what to tell him, but I get these kind of crazy messages, and they're not crazy. They're strategic. They are designed to discredit people. They want to keep something going that's negative, and keeps people from listening to you. That's exactly what they're doing. The only purpose behind all of this is to keep people from listening to what Brandon and Anita have to say. So there are still people out there who think that Anita is making it up because some idiot told her shenanigans, and all these people try to make people believe it, or Ninchi. But, I cannot do anything about that. But the one thing I can do is protect my channel. And I just blocked 7 people. I had to do it, and I will do it. And if I don't know you, and you say crazy stuff, and I don't trust you, then, I'll make sure you're not going to be able to use my platform to try to sidetrack, because I have very strong witnesses that I'm in touch with, of course, more than anything, Anita, but Brandon as well. And he just told me, I can tell you guys the story, that actually his dog was taken from his backyard. And then later in the evening or at night, it was returned, and he saw a black SUV that let his dog back out. This is the kind of stuff that's been going on. And I have a very good idea who's behind that. And
Mike, that would scare you. That would show you, see what I can do?
Yeah. And this is just one of many things. You see, I am bothering him. I'm asking him, please, let me say these things. Let me share something, just to give people a little bit of an idea. There is more. There's a lot more. And it's all going to come out. But the witness intimidation is not it, especially when Daleen does it as a lawyer, when she participates in it. And because of her, Jordan threatened Anita. So we have to now actively go against these people. And if you see them anywhere, well, I mean, you can do what you think but maybe don't support channels that have these people on or that allow people like that to, you don't want to be in a chat. Let me say it like that. You don't want to be in a chat where there are those who try to keep you from getting the information. You go on YouTube because you want information. And so when you have people that try to sidetrack no, I'm not interested in that. I'm just not interested. I'm interested in whoever has something that can help us. They're going through, it's not just one person.
No, Mr. Hemi, I don't know what you're fucking on about. You're saying the benefits don't disappear, they're just held until they properly refile. Yeah, they miss out on the monthly benefits. They don't accumulate and get paid arrears because they fucked around. They're not entitled to it after that. They'd have to go sort everything out, get everything right, and then refile. Is that what you're saying, I hope? I hope so. I think so.
It's several people. Christine Enrique is an absolute nutcase. She was obsessed with BL2. BL. She was talking a lot with Daniel. She was also working with Brad Turner, who also is Brad Turner. Yeah, when I blocked Christine and Brad, it said, this doesn't apply to the other accounts these people have. So Facebook actually indicated to me that these people have several accounts that they're running. So when you think on Facebook, you have an army of 20, 30, 40 people. This can be just a handful of people. They just have a lot of fake accounts. So they give you the illusion of, and they shut people down. And I'm happy this stupid group is no longer active. They're called now Good Vibrations. And apparently the guy was too dumb to recognize that
You can also say that about this particular case. Why is it, I should say, that the only people that are interested in this particular case only follow YouTube or only watch YouTube or only participate on social media when it's just not true. Oftentimes we confuse it and mix up just based on the people who choose to speak in live chat. Most people don't participate through using YouTube live chat. The suspects in this case have chosen to, but he's got a great point.
Cease and desist was from Cheryl or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry. Yeah. BL.
Mike,
I'm going to.
Christine Ingrid, the first I ever heard of her, pretended to be a lawyer on my business line and sent a message to Jamie saying that your wife's going to be arrested and all this stuff. Jamie just wrote back, fuck you. Don't call me unless you need a roof. And then I read the letter. I don't know how he knew. And she pretended to be a lawyer.
Yeah. Like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, she was
saying not if there was fraudulent. Not if there was fraudulent. What are you talking about? The Canadian benefit, the child tax benefit, the CTB every month? Just not filing is different than fraudulent activity. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. For example, there's disabilities that if the kids were diagnosed, she would be entitled to the accumulation of the difference in that child tax benefit in that sense.
Like on a
Yeah, that would be true though too. If she was entitled to it, there would be an accumulation. Yeah. I see what you're saying. But I don't think that's going to be the case in this particular situation, because it's ending up that we're talking about two different things. Because what was there's another problem other than the financial problems based off of Daniel not filing. And it had to do with them claiming welfare. And the rest we don't know much about.
Live or giggly. I think, of course, Belinda gotten her to be an admin in her group or something.
We're talking about that simply over the National Post's mention of the notice that they were receiving at the end of that month on April 30th in regards to their federal tax benefits. But there's more to it than that. You're not wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to make sure people know that there's several things going on when it comes to that. Who was claiming what?
After Lana was kicked out, I forgot the details. Doesn't matter really. But all of a sudden she's on a live, and I had her during my live. I looked at her and said, who the hell is that? Because she was so giggly and stupid. And I said, what is this? And then she messaged me and said, and gotten people to attack me. Then she asked me to come on her next live and join her. And of course I said, hell no, I have my own channel.
So fucking Robin Edwards, no shit. In this circumstance, how could she get her credit back, her tax credits back, when she's got no children in her custody? Yeah, that would be a problem. So that would be added to that. We just went off on a separate thing, which I was being hesitant about, Robin, but Mr. Hemi was trying to make a point simply about his situation rather than Jack and Lily's.
I don't need to go by, I don't go on people's. There are a couple people whose lives I went on a year ago, but that's because I trust them as people. So for me, it's like, I'm not going on anybody's life, because there's going to be like regulations, and there's always going to be this, none of them is legit, man. None of them, Christine Inrig is a realtor office worker in Orlando. She's a receptionist. Yeah, she's a receptionist. Got it. She's not a realtor. She's a receptionist.
Yeah, but she was dating Daniel, and she apparently spent time with him. And because she had an overnight with him, she said he's safe.
Oh my God.
Oh, is that true? That Christine Inrig, the keychain girl, the female Kent, was voluntarily dating Daniel. Oh, and they had an overnight together. Oh, that's how I know he's safe. What a poster child for domestic violence. Some people are just so fucking stupid, but it's more about grabbing people's attention and giving them that dopamine fix than it is about anything that most of the people should share in being interested in this case in the first place. Yeah, she's sketched to begin with, man. They all are. That entire little conglomerate of fools that go to try to capture the imagination of the public by taking their photo ops, calling the CBC, oh, here's the real search, here's the actual search. A little bit of a psyop. I have no way of verifying whether that's true or not, but my mind wants to say it's true. Just simply based on her odd behavior in that sense. Isn't that right, Esther?
Daniel, even you can do better than that. Anyways, she's nasty, man. She's fucking nasty. I had to block her, and she's sudden. Oh, I know. Yeah. Why is she obsessed with Brandon? Why is she obsessed with Anita? Why was she obsessed with me until I found a way to block her every single where, including here? When Kiki was on, she was in my chat saying, "You better shut up," and stuff like that to Kiki, right? Because I'm close.
It makes sense now.
I am the only one that's very, very close to what actually took place. And I have been from the beginning, if I may say so. And of course, Anita and Brandon. Okay, yeah. So she was dating Daniel. Absolutely. I'm getting some confirmation here. These people, Stephanie Miller, that's another one. These people are all together in this little network, and Belinda is all on. I say, don't trust Belinda either at all. It doesn't matter if Daleen is gone or not. And by the way, I don't believe that she's officially gone. That doesn't mean she's still in it. She's still all over it. You know what I mean? Don't trust any of these people. The only people that I trust is Anita and Brandon.
What are you saying, Robin? Is N working yet? If she's mentally stable enough to start a new relationship, she should be able to start work as well. Well, what do you see Malaya doing? What position do you think Malaya could fill? Maybe she should put her resume in at an old age home or something like that. I think that might be an issue there. Anything when it comes to people care. Do you think she could work the checkout at Canadian Tire? Maybe she could go and collect all of the... Is there enough people to have shopping carts in New Glasgow? Oh, I think so. Maybe you could go out and collect all the shopping carts in the parking lot. You keep the shelves stocked down at the Home Depot. No, they only hire a certain type. If it's like Ontario here, Robin, it's not what it used to be, Tim Hortons. Oh, she might, because she's a minority in that sense. She might be able to. She would probably get priority at Tim Hortons. Fuck, then you'd have to deal with Darren every day, coming in and backing up the drive-through because he won't shut up. Talk. Oh, yay, Tent. Hey, Tent. Malaya could only be a prostitute. That's not even very nice. Getting her mattress degree. That's not even nice. Stasia's saying that you're so disgusted with this, Christine. Oh, there's always something. There's always something. Don't let it distract you too much. It's just important the odd time to hear it. DEA hire. She definitely be a DEA hire at Tim Hortons. I don't know about Ontario's Tim Hortons. They don't care so much about native people. It's more Southeast Asians. He's not even being racist. It's just seems to be the thing now. I love Indian food, bro. My onion bhaji. Double order that. I just can't afford it all the time. It's so expensive. Yeah, but she doesn't. I don't think she has work on the mind. It's not something that she wants to do. I think the last time I heard that, it was brought up to Wade and Cindy. Wade said that he wasn't going to fucking babysit. It was part of the agreement when she moved in out of Daniels, May the 3rd. She brought up that, she could get a job and go back to work and contribute to the household in that sense. Yeah, that's a factor for her in this, Michelle, no doubt. But again, it's only limiting. It's like everybody already knows. So it's not like she can go, like her family already knows what she has, whether it's going to contribute and cover everything. It's all of that is off the table now. Like we're arguing things that aren't really a problem, just a bunch of what ifs. Because she's got no kids. Okay. That's not a fact for her life anymore currently. There's no children involved in her life, and she won't be getting Meadow back. That's not going to be a possibility. You going through the motions is just a distraction. So now, considering everything that is out there in this situation where she wants to encourage mystery as opposed to resolution, there's going to be a major fucking problem with the things, anything that she tries to pursue in the future. She's going to be even more reliant on her immediate family. Michelle, write it on a postcard for her so she can at least remember it more than it going through one ear and out the other. People have been on her about that. She could work on herself, get clean, get education, then work. There's so many options. She has to want it. That's not true. But how all of a sudden, why would all of a sudden things change now? What is it now that's different that's going to motivate her to right this wayward wind? She could become a model for thigh crusher exercise machines. Okay. They'll be waiting, Lori. They'll be waiting at the hospital should there ever be another pregnancy. She won't be having any more kids. That'll go straight into custody. That's a good statement, Bonnie. They've earned their notoriety. Absolutely correct. And slowly, day by day, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, especially that, well, now's not a great time for finding out facts. We'll find out all kinds of facts after the fact with Danny's little date in front of the judge. It's serious allegations. Well, things are slowly pivoting in that sense, and we'll get answers eventually. People get frustrated. They get fed up because they think that they're entitled to having the answers. I don't necessarily disagree with you. That's why it's encouraged that in the cases like this, that people make these public statements like Anita and Brandon do. Yeah, Michelle, you're saying that she could be using this as a turning point to change, but clearly that's not been the case. Probably her own guilt and shame. Well, she's prefers that you fill in those blanks for her because she doesn't want to be anywhere near you to give you an answer. She doesn't have any options. She's in a predicament at this point. Well, listen, she's just, in my opinion, she's just as guilty as everybody else there at this point. Due to the silence would indicate that she's never going to and doesn't intend to come clean and tell police what really happened in order to bring closure to this situation for her children. We should have probably got that from the statement that she gave us, the only one that she gave the world. legally speaking, they can be complicated AF, and it's going to be a different set of arguments by the time all of this gets to court. Right now, in this phase, we're trying to remind ourselves and exercise patience based upon the complexity of what it is that we out here have discovered through excellent contradicting eyewitness accounts, allowing us a lead into what really happened that day, as opposed to the information we've been conditioned and programmed with associated to whatever happened to Jack and Lily that day. It'd be one thing if you actually had a solid alibi and there was real question, but there's no question. Your fucking stories and your excuses were so bad that it's just a matter of time before the truth floats to the surface. There's no way your short answer with no context is ever going to be good enough for law enforcement in this. It's what's going to keep the investigation open. So however long it takes for them to accumulate, however much of this circumstantial evidence that points directly back to you takes, is how long it's going to take. But that's what's going to happen. That's what's had to happen every step of the way, because the information that comes from the last three on that property is simply non-existent and unrelated to all of the intricacies that investigators need to understand what went on that day. That's what the investigation is for. And the investigation will come to a close. It's not going to sit there wide open because there's a real question as to what really happened that day. We all know what fucking happened. When it comes to the most important lives of Jack and Lily. And based off of their behavior and empty statements, hole-filled alibis, and refusal to really actually cooperate, as the police like to say, you know, offering them up all of these ridiculous things and saying it in the media isn't exactly the cooperation that they're talking about, son. You're a gaslighter, and it's be gaslighting every step of the way, making you question your own sanity by simply offering up ridiculous fucking anecdotes to unrelated things at every step of the way. Janie loves to do that. Janie, more than anybody, should be more focused on what the facts were or are in a situation, rather than all of the things that she latches onto to try to use against the person like Anita in the moment. Things that are just meaningless, pointless. She's placating to the audience, especially on that conversation when she called into Mike and Anita. You can't look any more guilty, girl. More power to you for calling them, though. Hopefully you call them again and fucking emote a little bit. See, like I think you're saying, Michelle, she seems confident in her ability to say the things that she wants without there being any repercussion, because she's still without these silver bracelets that are coming her way eventually. In a situation like this, that reasonable grounds is important every step of the way. They would have had, let's say, reasonable grounds could have been if they didn't like the polygraph, for example. It's not the only one, but early on in a situation like this, if somebody's failing the polygraph, they have to investigate further as to why. And then they could use that as reasonable grounds to speed up the process to further figure out what the hell happened. All right. They're still doing the same thing, whether they passed or failed the polygraph. They're still going through the same process. But because this is a hoax being perpetuated in the sense of their call to the RCMP May 2nd, the same processes have to happen regardless in order to fill in all of the blanks that Janie and Daniel refused to offer up Not only publicly, it's not us out here demanding. You should have come out with them the first day. It's not that much. You share as much important information as possible should you be a legitimate victim of a crime in this circumstance, which is what you guys want yourselves to be in the eyes of the world. But you're not.
That's really whom I trust, because the rest, they all have an agenda, like all of them, or they don't want to speak. You know what I mean? I want to
Find
have
out
more.
where she works. I'm going to tell the realtor. I'm going to start doing things that they won't like.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody with information, send it my way, because now it's time to stop. These people, we gave them every opportunity in the world to stop, because now it's time for us to focus back onto the case. And I'm telling you, if you support these types of people, if I see you in any of those chats, and please don't come here. You know what I mean? Please don't come here. Chelsea is Belinda's guard dog, also getting blocked now everywhere. Yeah, I blocked Belinda, Chelsea, like 6 months ago from my channel. And just a week ago, I blocked her from my Facebook Messenger. And she sent me like 100 freaking messages in the last 6 months that I didn't even reply to. So if anybody wants to talk about harassment, you know what I mean? I'm not the one harassing anybody. They are harassing me. And the same with Daylene. I also finally blocked. So no, I'm going to protect my space, which includes this chat, my network. And here, you know, we're going to be able to focus on what matters. But again, I cannot ignore it because it's getting really, really, really intense. And it's going to get more intense. These people are desperate now, especially now with Brandon coming back. And stupid Daniel is the reason, and he doesn't even know it. You know what I mean? He thought he was going to, like, you know, say something about Brandon, and everybody says, oh, okay, she works for Remax in Mississauga, Ontario, if you see the chat. Mississauga, fuck, I cannot say this one.
Mississauga. I'll find
Don't
her,
ask-
don't worry.
Okay, don't ask me to read either French or native names. I cannot pronounce them.
Mississauga, you can do it. Mississauga, Ontario.
Mississauga, Ontario. I did it.
Yeah, that's
Almost.
good.
I just cannot read it how it's written. I just have to repeat how you say it, you know what I mean? Oh my God, guys, I had a busy morning already, but nothing worth being in detail over, but I have...
Nothing for nothing, but many people that live here in Ontario have the same problem when they come across that city's name on a map, try to pronounce it, Mississauga. You do it once, Mike, and then you learned. Now you know.
Horrible, but I don't understand how people follow these people. I really don't. But you know what, man? That's why sometimes I say things like the vast majority of people, man, don't follow the crowd. Seriously, don't.
Whoops.
Hello, everybody.
Thing going that's negative and keeps people from listening to you. That's exactly what they're doing.
One more S in there, Mayflower.
The only purpose behind all of this is to keep people from listening to what Brandon and Anita have to say. So there are still people out there who think that Anita is making it up because some idiot told her. Shenanigans and all these people try to make people believe it, or Ninchi. But, you know, I cannot do anything about that. But the one thing I can do is protect my channel. And I just blocked 7 people. I had to do it. And I will do it. And if I don't know you and you say crazy stuff, then, and I don't trust you, then, you know, I'll make sure you're not going to be able to use my platform to try to sidetrack, because I have very strong witnesses that I'm in touch with, of course, more than anything, Anita, but Brandon as well. And he just told me, I can tell you guys the story that actually his dog was taken from his backyard. And then later in the evening or at night, It was returned, and he saw a black SUV. BL2 BL. She was talking a lot with Daniel. She was also working with Brad Turner, who also is a Brad Turner. Yeah, when I blocked Christine and Brad, it said this doesn't apply to the other accounts these people have. So Facebook actually indicated to me that these people have several accounts that they're running. So when you think on Facebook, you have an army of 20, 30, 40 people. This can be just a handful of people. They just have a lot of fake accounts. So they give you the illusion of, and they shut people down. And I'm happy this stupid group is no longer active. They're called now Good Vibrations. And apparently the guy was too dumb to recognize that the cease and desist was from Cheryl or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry. Yeah. BL.
Mike,
I'm going to.
Christine Ingrid, the first I ever heard of her, pretended to be a lawyer on my business line and sent a message to Jamie saying that your wife's going to be arrested and all this stuff. Jamie just wrote back, "Fuck you. Don't call me unless you need a roof." And then I read the letter. I don't know how he knew. And she pretended to be a lawyer.
Yeah, like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, she was like on a live or giggly. I think, of course, Belinda gotten her to be an admin in her group or something after Lana was kicked out. I forgot the details. Doesn't matter really. But all of a sudden, she's on a live, and I had her during my live. I looked at her and said, "Who the hell is that?" Because she was so giggly and stupid, and I said, "What is this?" And then she messaged me and said, and gotten people to attack me. Then she asked me to come on her next live and join her. And of course, I said, "Hell no! I have my own channel. I don't need to go by. I don't go on people's. There are a couple people whose lives I went on a year ago, but that's because I trust them as people. So for me, it's like I'm not going on anybody's live because there's going to be like regulations, and there's always going to be this. None of them is legit, man. None of them, Christine Inrich is a realtor, office worker in Orlando. She's a receptionist. Yeah, she's a receptionist. Got it. She's not a realtor. She's a receptionist.
Yeah, but she was dating Daniel, and she apparently spent time with him. And because she had an overnight with him, she said he's safe.
Oh, my God. Daniel, even you can do better than that. Anyways, she's nasty, man. She's fucking nasty. I had to block her, and she's sudden. Oh, I know. Yeah. Why is she obsessed with Brandon? Why is she obsessed with Anita? Why was she obsessed with me until I found a way to block her every single where, including here? When Kiki was on, she was in my chat saying, "You better shut up," and stuff like that to Kiki, right? Because I'm close. I am the only one that's very, very close to what actually took place. And I have been from the beginning, if I may say so. And of course, Anita and Brandon. Okay, yeah. So she was dating Daniel. Absolutely. I'm getting some confirmation here. These people, Stephanie Miller, that's another one. These people are all together in this little network. And Belinda is all on. I say, don't trust Belinda either at all. It doesn't matter if Daleen is gone or not. And by the way, I don't believe that she's officially gone. That doesn't mean she's still in it. She's still all over it. You know what I mean? Don't trust any of these people. The only people that I trust is Anita and Brandon. That's really whom I trust. Because the rest, they all have an agenda. Like all of them, or they don't want to speak. You know what I mean? I want to
find
have
out
more.
where she works. I'm going to tell the realtor. I'm going to start doing things that they won't like.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody with information, send it my way. Because now it's time to stop. These people, we gave them every opportunity in the world to stop, because now it's time for us to focus back onto the case. And I'm telling you, if you support these types of people, if I see you in any of those chats, and please don't come here. You know what I mean? Please don't come here. Chelsea is Belinda's guard dog, also getting blocked now everywhere. Yeah, I blocked Belinda, Chelsea, like 6 months ago from my channel. And just a week ago, I blocked her from my Facebook Messenger. And she sent me like 100 freaking messages in the last 6 months that I didn't even reply to. So if anybody wants to talk about harassment, you know what I mean? I'm not the one harassing anybody. They are harassing me. And the same with Daylene. I also finally blocked. So no, I'm going to protect my space, which includes this chat, my network. And here, you know, we're going to be able to focus on what matters. But
Yeah, you're not just hearing things, Mayflower. That clip repeated because I hit the wrong button. But the good news is that we're all through the repeat now.
again, I cannot ignore it because it's getting really, really, really intense. And it's going to get more intense. These people are desperate now, especially now with Brandon coming back. And stupid Daniel is the reason, and he doesn't even know it. You know what I mean? He thought he was going to, like, you know, say something about Brandon, and everybody says, oh, okay, she works for Remax in Mississauga, Ontario, if you see the chat. Mississauga, oh, fuck, I cannot say this.
Mississauga.
Send that to you.
We only have women's prison, men's. We don't have a section.
That's what if ever happens. So in her mind, Malaya is the guilty one. Malaya brought these kids. That's her kids. She's responsible. Whatever her son did, right? So if you talk about the black eyes, oh no, I didn't see anything. But she's angry with Malaya. And she was angry with the children, especially, I believe, with Lily, when she says, oh, she's prim. Because she probably felt like saying, well, go back to your damn rich grandmother. That's probably what she was thinking. And she's angry with Belinda. She says, where were you for 2 years? Why didn't you take them? I didn't want them here. But again, the reason they thought all of their stupid ways of trying to cover things up are going to work, because they thought nobody cares about these kids. Belinda doesn't give a crap. The mom's family doesn't give a crap. Nobody cares. Everybody's going to forget about it. Oh, well, it's just two kids out in the boonies, you know, in a meth head area, just getting lost. And let's forget about it. He had no idea they're going to have a multi-million-dollar search and everything else, and people are going to get interested. But I don't think without Daniel and all his talk, I would have gotten involved. I'm telling you, I don't think I ever would have heard about it. I think the fact that he talked, he was so obvious, that's what gotten people interested. Even if they didn't know how to analyze his language, they said something is wrong, and I want to know what it is.
Yep.
I agree with that.
I think that's probably typical amongst most of the people who have a special interest in this case from the public, is as soon as you see the statements from the parents of the kids, the caregivers of the children who were reported missing, you know that there's a problem, an issue.
Now, they don't know anything else.
Bonda said Janie hates Malaya for coming over there. She loved his ex-wife. Yes, I was told that as well, Bonda.
His ex-wife was a good one, but she kicked his ass out because he went back to his old ways, I think. I think that's what happened. I think he was doing well for some time, and then the real Daniel came back. And she said, what the hell? I'm not doing this. And she's protecting her children.
I bet you one thing right now, and we're going to find out someday. But I'm going to have to put some money down on a factor in the reason why Danny and his old lady split in the first place had everything to do with Facebook dating. I bet you. Facebook dating, and he took up in this particular substance.
You know, which is a good thing. And the kids, they told on Daniel. They said, our dad abused Jack and Lily. And he's going to run as long as Daniel has an audience somewhere, he's going to run away from it, ignore it, and act like everybody else is crazy. He loves to talk about how crazy people are, right? Everything. First about Anita, now about Brandon, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know. There are people who are not like the types of Malayas in the world that you're dealing with. There are people who don't get intimidated. They get angry when they get harassed. When getting harassed, most people, I believe, they will cower and disappear and hide. But some people will get angry and say, you know what, now I really want the world to know what's going on. Oh, I just got something real quick. What is this?
And AB made Trail Hiker one of the, I guess the proper term is mods. I don't even know what that means. A moderator.
Hey, Trail Hiker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he spoke of you nice. And he's being nice too. I think he's realizing that some of the things that he was told and misled, that I knew he would come back around. The truth is the truth and a lie's a lie.
I'm getting
thanks, Trail
something
Hiker.
here.
I appreciate
Sorry,
that.
If I'm no, today you, oh my God, you're free to interrupt anything I say. I have now some really good, normally this happens when, you know, certain people, they come alive at this time of night. And
I had
even
a
when
rough, we drove through a storm. I hydroplaned almost 3 times, and I'm a good driver, and it's calm now, but we had a wicked storm, and there was so much water on the road, and because my vehicle is all-wheel drive, it's not the greatest in the rain. I probably should have said wait, but we had to go pick up a vehicle, and Jamie drives a big truck, so it's easy for him, and I actually had to put my 4-ways on and reduce my speed to 80. And typically I'm a 130 driver. I like going fast, but the weather controlled my evening and it was not a good drive. It was not.
oh, the bloody underwear, the matching purple headband, the white sock, little boy's black and white root sock. Yeah, wow, I'm getting some, I'm took this.
I knew about this, Mike, but I never it makes me, I don't even want to think about it because it makes me sick
Yeah,
about, some of it. It makes me sick.
sounds like Darren. Darren is a creep. His statements about he likes children in a clean way, that already, you know, tells me who he is. That whole family. Oh my God. I'm going to look at the comments, guys. Sorry, I'm going to be sidetracked a lot today because this is really now I'm getting information that I haven't gotten before while I'm.
It's a family law lawyer. What are you doing?
Doesn't matter what she does. I don't care what Belinda. She's never going to do the right thing. It doesn't matter. And I don't want her to win anything. I don't want her to have guardianship because she's going to mess it up and turn it into a big show. You know what I mean? But here, purple bloody underwear, black sock, white sock, and small girls. I cannot read this thing right here. Ah, let me, wait a minute. Wait, sorry, guys. Bloody underwear, the matching purple headband and white sock, and little boy's black and white root sock. And that's found on. You see, I knew this would happen. Everybody will come around to us. And first they didn't want to. But then now they're going to make excuses. Well, I had no choice. I had to believe this person and that person. Does anybody remember Anita being pro Malaya ever? No, I'm very, this is not going to work here. I'm serious at all.
That's where he got upset at Miss K. I had to send him a message on that. They didn't know what he was talking about.
To make a name for themselves by saying some bullshit. But the enablers, that feel strong in the crowd and then come here and spew misinformation, that's going to stop, people. That's going to all stop. So I don't know exactly what I'm looking at here. This is, I guess, a word that was found. Do you know what this is, Anita? I'm going to look at the chat in a minute. I'm going to have to ask him to clarify. Oh, my God. All the sidetracking, man. All this nonsense. When will they stop? If somebody does...
Because it's not one or the other, Anita Benita.
As the audience, you control it. If you watch somebody and that person says complete nonsense, then shut it off. Don't listen.
No, Anita, that's not what he's saying. You're agreeing with him. He's just acknowledging it because of their interaction with him on social media. Cindy and Wade aren't interactive in that sense. I skipped over a couple parts, so don't think too much.
Don't support it with your view. If they do good things, go for it. Support it. Too easy. Here we go. Let me listen. Let me see right now. What? Hey, Peggy. At the very first Bev, May 6th or 7th, it was all over social media. Let me see. Bev asked, I don't remember hearing about these items. Yes, it was May 6 or 7. I agree, May 6 or 7. If you look at the map and connect the first pink shirt where Emily was connected, the diaper dump, and the second pink shirt there, then further up, the bloody underwear socks, it's almost a straight line. And remember, that's what Justin Smith also said. He heard the car going up towards Gerallock Road. Remember that, people. That was in the police report. It was not just Brad Wong. Justin Smith said he heard the car go up there. And now let me look again at this map that Brandon has sent to me.
That's the Lairg Cemetery Road. Yeah, he describes it almost to a T.
When you go down here, the diaper dump collected by MCU, the second pink shirt with baseballs collected by MCU. I just shown you the picture. That's the second pink shirt with baseballs collected by MCU. I think that's what he's talking about. Of course, the first one with Emily, we have to go right back down here. Emily was here at the side of the road, and then there was, the pink shirt that was planted, the brand new one with the Honda Civic. Okay, and you go up here, all of a sudden, here you have the second pink shirt with baseballs collected, and I showed it just to you. And then you go up here, look at this. And there you have the purple bloody underwear, black sock, white sock. right here. Bloody underwear. Was it girls or boys?
Now, what he's pointing out is the spots roughly where the items were found, the corroborating items, the pink t-shirts, 2 different spots, are the spots which were identified from eyewitness accounts of vehicular activity the night before. You remember him coming down to Lansdowne and the vehicle stopping for a period of roughly 2 or 3 minutes. And then the other end was up near, it went as far as New Lairg Cemetery Road. Well, that's the spot in which the other pink t-shirt and baseballs were found by the diaper dump.
Boys underwear, do we know? I think girls underwear, right? And I'm sorry, guys, I have to state it as it is. I cannot water down my language right now. So my whole channel is one big trigger warning. I'm not going to like, try to think how to say something in a nicer way. And I think that watering things down is not doing a favor to the victims. The brutality of what happened to Jack and Lily, not just that night, but for 2 years before, I think needs to be illustrated in a proper manner. I consider it to be disrespectful, actually, to leave out anything or make it sound more digestible for us,
Meadow was not.
What would they have the need? Use your imaginations. What would give them the driving need to have to get rid of all of these fabric, these clothes, this evidence? What was going on? What was all over them that you needed to destroy them out in Mother Nature? The priority in that scenario would be to get them out of the house. They needed to get them the hell away from where the event actually happened or the crimes were taking place.
Not well taken care of.
Part of the preparation,
Of course not.
part of the preparation in getting ready for their 10:07 a.m. RCMP phone call where they report the kids as having walked out of their own trailer and disappearing. Oh, we don't know. We're desperate. Do whatever you have to do. Well, here we are.
Black
I was
River?
allegedly, Mike, the blanket was torn in half and there was a fist like last minute. I don't know because I didn't follow in the beginning. So correct me if I'm wrong or viewers. There was a bag on the road and allegedly anyone who followed, I think it was a week or 2 before, there was bags of items of the children and a lady stopped and looked in the bags and apparently she called in a tip. He had thrown out the children's clothes a week or 2 before and the side of the road in bags. And the morning the kids were reported missing, there was a bag still up on the pickup. Jamie checked into garbage pickup. It was supposed to be that Friday morning, and Jamie's always said, "Did anyone check the dump? The dump? The dump?" He keeps going on about the dump. And he also said, it's easy to take garbage bags, follow the dump like the garbage man, and say, "Oh, I didn't miss the pickup. Can you take these bags?"
Mr. Emmy, part of maybe one too is some of it just got yanked up off the floor in an attempt to make it look neater. Like one would think that you guys tidied up before the cops came. To what degree? How bad was the state of the place before they got into that? Through the neglect that's obvious on the outside of the trailer, who's to say what was on the inside and how long it was staying it, in one place. Maybe those clothes were soiled from like in weeks ago, and they hadn't been picked up and dealt with. Not trying to minimize the possibilities there. I'm just trying to open the minds up to new possible little angles as to how all of that, the children's items that were taken into evidence, ended up out in the bush. And in the bush, right where another eyewitness, two eyewitnesses, said that the car that came from Dan's on May 1st into May 2nd stopped there.
Oh, I got the picture of the diaper dump now. Give me 1 second. This is a picture of the diaper dump from the search.
Hold on, you're going to want to see this. Let me see here. There's a picture of the diaper dump right there. Let's have a look at that. Let's take a screenshot. Danny, that's your diaper dump. I know it. I know that's got to be your diaper dump, bro. See if I can make that any closer. Just give me a sec. I'll try to zoom in on it. That probably gives you a good idea. Take your own screenshot if you want. So there's some there's conversations that we haven't mentioned yet surrounding this particular area and points of interest. By the way, this diaper dump leads right back to Daniel's. Absolutely. And by the way, there's other factors that go along with this diaper dump that fit the situation and the living situation of Daniel and Malaya and the number of diapers and kids in that sense. There's more information, but the RCMP probably don't want us talking too much about it yet. That's a fuckload amount of diapers. Now it goes, who else has a history of dumping diapers? The usual suspects. Maybe Malaya should get into business like a tannery or something for the amount of shit that she collects. You could tan some leather, girl. What is this, Rome? Are we in like the year 10 BC? Now talk about the growing resentment against the kids. This is part of that. You're seeing it right here. They don't anticipate the added costs, the associated costs that go along with this. They just keep blaming this possible autism or their special needs. Not that the fact that, there's all kinds of reasons, probably in this case stemming from the fact that Jack was being abused and he was having bathroom issues. Ain't nobody gonna find my diapers up here. Now, how many of Janie's brothers are having young children where they need diapers? What brings a person to have the need to go and dump diapers? Why are they collecting it? Because they don't want to flip for the extra cost of taking it straight to the dump? They're going to blame it on municipal garbage laws? What kind of individual does this? Why? There's no really reasonable excuse that is going to make anybody say, oh, now we understand. So just like these diapers is just how you fucking idiots treated Jack and Lily. No different. You took them out and you dumped them.
That sounds pretty much like what Cody and Malaya had at in their base at one point, right? But this is the diaper dump that I just talked about. This is an actual picture from it. I'm just going to leave it up here, not to gross you out, but I don't think it's ever been seen before anywhere.
And Mike, I didn't know you before. And when the first time you had me on your show, I didn't know your style. And I think women were triggered by the reaction with me and you. And I think during the show, I said, why are
Yeah, you're right, Michelle. Diapers have DNA all over them. They definitely have Meadows and the kids. You know, you would be expected to be easy to match up. How? That's an extensive diaper dump, dude. Biohazard. Everybody up in that area where this diaper dump is, there are Mackenzies that live around it. Daniel, you zoom out on Google Earth, you can see all the trails of four-wheeler trails leading back into Daniels. It's quite extensive, far more than the roads around there. And of course, these trails that we work in through our habits. You know, that trail, we should go over and pull Google Earth up in another date. But the trail that we were focused on, even in the very first days, that's where at the end of that trail behind Daniels, it's somebody else's property, but from the air right behind Daniel's mom's property, there's that, there's a dump site back there as well, and it splits off into two. It forks off. If you go left, it goes towards Lansdowne Road. Where it meets Lansdowne Road across the railroad tracks is where the blankets were reportedly on the ground in the police report, and this blanket was reportedly in the tree that they led Haley to find. Out here in away from the investigation and all the information, that even the information that's public in the public realm, this is so hard to ignore. Now that, publicly speaking, to those who are watching in, you fucking idiots with this stupid pink blanket and the hole in the garbage bag at the end of the fucking driveway that there's an articles about out there, has a link to all of these other fucking dump sites that Brandon found. How many more are there out there that we hadn't? But don't get any fucking ideas in your head going and magically finding new things. They're trying to obfuscate. What's important about what Brandon found, these were in the initial days of the first search, the response to the call to the RCMP, not months down the damn line in that sense. Not a year later. This has all already happened. And in the custody of police, where it should be. So I wonder if anybody's cleaned this diaper dump up. Danny, why don't you get up there and clean these diapers up?
Why are they saying that? They were like, don't let her interrupt you or talk over you. And I trigger women. I still do it in my life right now. I don't know why. They just
No, you know,
women are not nice to me.
I trigger a lot of men, but we work it out. That's all I can say. I tell you to shut the hell up if I want to, and you tell me do the same thing. So the only thing that's important is that the information flows. And I think that, I don't have a problem with being interrupted or this. Actually, there are times I love it. There are times I'm on here, I'm thinking about something, and I hate dead air. I hate dead air when I hear it on other channels. So when I'm in a spot where I have dead air, I'm praying almost, Anita, please interrupt me now. So I think I like her style, actually. And yeah, a lot of people told me, don't let her interrupt me. I don't know, man. I'm so into what I'm doing that I don't even think about these things. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe it's something wrong with me there. I don't know.
Oh my God. I have to read this. Hold on. I don't know what you're reading. I must have missed something, but it's probably really good. This little, or let it be known, 23 says, diapers are zero proof of anyone being fed. Who is saying that that's proof of them being fed? Well, there's your proof of them being fed. There's diapers. There's excrement out there. Oh, shit. Well, they were obviously alive up to a certain point, so they would have to be ingesting something. The point is they're not getting near enough. All right? And yeah, urine would render these diapers otherwise useless. Who the fuck? Oh, Mr. Hemi. I think Mr. Hemi was just being sarcastic as shit. Don't worry about it. Let it be known. I don't think that he was actually serious about that. If you're getting that from Mr. Hemi, that's funny shit. Oh, Lori Green was saying that. Well, that's different. Lori, maybe Lori was being sarcastic as well. But again, I think we cleared that up. Listen, the fact that we're looking at a diaper dump full of God knows piss-filled diapers is not good enough evidence that the kids were being fed food or a counter to the argument of neglect and starvation. Essentially, the kids didn't have enough to eat. Do you know, here's a little secret. You fucking made me laugh there. If that's your logic, then that's pretty sad. I don't even take you seriously. That's funny shit. That made me laugh. No, that's not proof that the kids were being fed near enough, because you're overlooking what the problem is in the first place. It's not whether or not, it's not black and white there, Mom of the Year, Lori Green. Whether the kids were being handed food. They were technically being fed at the drive-thru. The point is they're not getting, they're being neglected in that sense, where they don't have a regular feeding schedule. They don't eat 3 meals a day with nutrition breaks, as they call them in school. All right? None of that shit. And you're not going to be able to tell by a bunch of empty diapers piled whether or not the kids are being... I'm not even taking that argument. That's just a funny comment, you bastard. That's funny shit. But again, it has nothing to do with the argument that people are raising. Can't even believe you fucking pulled that out. You can tell malnutrition from the DNA. Oh, absolutely. This is why you go to your doctor to tell you that you need to eat more iron. They're always telling you need to eat more things with iron in it. We don't get enough. That's usually what goes along with regular medical checkups nowadays. I think that's really the point. Lori Green, do you want to know what else is evidence that they weren't totally starved? Because the result of total starvation is death. Okay? So if we knew that the kids survived up until April 30th, we knew that they weren't totally being starved, as you're putting in your statement there. Stop with this bullshit. You're failing to see how funny as fuck your comment was, and you're actually trying to make a point. Stop with that. That's 2 times this show. That's funny shit. Now I know what Little Be Known was saying. That's funny. Don't even worry about it. They weren't being totally starved. Well, I guess it would come down to your definition of what that means. Why don't you get the definition straight in your mind?
Oh man, but I no, if you have something better than what I'm talking about, please interrupt me. And I will stop you if you are going into areas that are not important right now. I mean, I think, and you corrected me many times. You told me, you shouldn't say this, you should be better not, blah, 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 blah. I listened to you also. I think that's the best way to go. But we are not here to trigger. Well, I don't care if I trigger anybody. I don't care. I don't care. We'll talk about it when the case is solved. Then we can talk about all the other stuff. But guess what? Then you're going to see how boring it all is. But this is a diaper dump right here, baby. Baby. What am I saying, baby?
Mike, people need to understand, I have never been involved in such a case. I get excited. I'm emotional. I have moments like where I'm like, oh, and during the day I think, but yeah, I'm new to you, you're new to me.
Yeah,
And
but I guide
I
you.
try to reach out.
I guide you. I mean, I know what I know. You know
Anyway,
what you know.
where I was
And we
originally
kinda
going
guide
I
you.
also
with that is that the majority of children, majority of adults don't get near enough nutrients and proper nutrients. It's a real fucking issue, period. So there's really no replacement for real nutrients, which in fact is medicine for your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in person, Mike, if we sat down and half your viewers were there, they would feel differently. Also, I know since I was 16, Jamie gets it too. People say, we don't like her. Jamie's like, you don't even know her. And until you meet people in person and spend time with them, I don't believe any of those people who don't like me. If you don't like me, it's because you have your own insecurities.
I know for a
It's
fact.
something with you.
I
Because
know.
I'm not. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know for a fact that there are women who don't. They're watching me, but they don't want to comment because they don't want to admit that the reason they didn't want to believe you is because they didn't want to believe you because they didn't like your tone of voice. Okay, so it's not that they said, okay, I'm analyzing Anita and no, I don't believe her. No, they actually believed you, but they didn't want to believe you because they rather wanted to watch Nenchi and people like that who make up a song about you and your Mercedes and all this low level stuff. And they felt comfortable in their little world of jealousy. That's the way I look at it. So when it came time, now everybody realizes that you are the witness alongside with Brandon. They still don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that they're so small-minded that they allow it. I'm telling you guys all the time, I don't care how I like somebody. If that person talks shit, I don't pay attention. I don't care if I dislike somebody. If they have good information, I suffer through it. You know what I mean? You have to make a decision here, especially in statement analysis. And the decision has to be whatever the truth is. It doesn't matter. You don't get stuck in a theory. You don't have a favorite villain. Sorry. Oh my God, something. You have to be ready
Mike,
for whatever the truth is.
how far is that diaper thing from the trailer?
Let's look. Good question. Good question. Let's see that. Give me 1 second, people. So here we got Gerallock Road. This is a diaper dump. Gerallock Road. This is the lake, Lake Gerallock. And 400 meters is this. So we go about, let me see, 1, 2, 3.5. I would say 3.5. I would say 1.5 kilometers. You guys thinking? Do you guys think in kilometers or what? It's a mile, about a mile, a little less than a mile, maybe.
So somebody had to take those bags and diapers on an ATV and dump them?
Possible. Absolutely possible.
It looks to be on the side of the road. It's not just on an ATV trail. It's actually on the side of the road, I believe.
And not a lot of nasty people live there. A few people live there, but you got to think about it also. Who's nasty enough to do this shit? So, I don't know. Could these be Jack's pull-ups? I mean, they would have had to test the DNA there, right? God, I love how you float, Anita. I like that with you, there's no dead air.
Honestly, I don't know how to say this, but I don't think that's important to the detectives. They don't
Maybe
give a
not.
shit who dumped diapers there.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe
it just
not.
shows they're pigs, but they don't care.
Right. But the bloody underwear
I
matters.
truly believe during that one interview with the RCMP, they saw something. Something triggered me when I saw the officer visibly upset. Something is going on that I don't know. That they witnessed.
That little part, Anita, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, you're right. You can that everything that Anita's about to say is true. Well, I'm going to end it here though. She's just talking about what the announcement that the RCMP made to the media statement, where they said that they were ending the search. They were shook up because anybody who was tied into searching for children who are missing, calling it off without finding the children is going to be an extremely emotional time, and that's going to be a point that's acceptable for an officer to show emotion in that sense. That's what she was talking about. But Anita was saying that it was an indicator to her that they know more at that point in time what's going on in the background. Well, maybe not that particular officer, because he's the one that's talking. He's the PR guy. He's the dude in front of the mic in that sense. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Not that it matters. She's just trying to make a point that they know more in the background than they were leading on at that time. And yeah, who's to say? They do now. 3 hours and 23 minutes, friends. Make sure you stick it out. We'll be back on a little bit later. Thanks for joining me this Sunday, y'all.